Is this thing on?
Are you ready, Matt?
You're listening to Box Office Bingers
with Matt Diaz and Ernesto Santos.
Good evening, folks. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Box Office Bingers.
And the only way that I know how to do it is to find you a bloody good dump.
He's my friend. I don't have friends. I got family.
I can do this all day.
You know, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
This is it, Matt. This is how we are going to close out 2025. I mean, we're recording it in 2026, but this is our best of show. And yes, I sound like shit, but I promise you, I'm not sick. It's just these damn allergies, and Florida doesn't know what season it's in. It's like hot for 1 second. It's cold it's going to be like really cold by the end of this week. So
it's cold now.
It's cold. It is cold outside. It is very cold outside.
Cold outside right now.
But you know what? We're going to have a good show, even though I sound like shit.
No, you don't. You're not sick. I 100% believe you. You are not sick. But we appreciate you coming out here to do episode 280 of Box Office Bingers.
It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy.
We've reached this number so far. By the end, by I don't know, like by summer of this year, we would hit episode 300.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. It's kind of wild to think about.
It is crazy to think about. Even 280 is a very large amount of numbers to be doing this almost every week. At the very least, there's 2 to 3 episodes a month. Best if we can keep up with it, 4 episodes a month.
Man, I've had 2 kids since started this show.
You're
right?
You're right. We've covered full franchises on this show.
Yeah.
Like from this, Knives Out, for example. We've covered since we started this podcast, we've covered the first one, the second, and the third. Sonic is another one that comes to mind because that came out in 2020.
Well, we didn't review the second one, but we did see this first one.
Wait, say it again?
We reviewed the first two.
Two.
But we didn't review the third one.
We talked about it.
But we didn't
we talked about it.
Yeah, we mentioned it. It got an honorable mention.
It got an honorable mention. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it is crazy. Episode 280. And we're kind of doing a little bit of a recap. Best of 2025. We're going over all of the TV shows and all of the movies that sparked joy in our lives throughout the whole year. In the years past, we have kind of tied it to something else, and then we put the best of on the back end. And I feel like after going over last year's episode, when we did best of, it was almost 3 hours. Yep. That we reviewed 2 movies, and then the best of will be quick. It's never quick with us. If you're listening to episode 280, you know that we don't do things quick.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it won't be 3 hours. Maybe it'll just be 2. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
If we're talking about this for 3 hours, we got to reassess.
Yeah.
We're talking about too much.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to hit the 3 hour mark. However, we do have a breakdown of, like we said, the best of movies and television that came out of 2025. And we're going to start by talking about the television shows. And as per usual, before we talk about the good, we got to talk about the bad. And so first we're going to talk about the TV categories, and then you can check the timestamps, and then we'll move on to the movie categories. So with that, we're going to be going to the TV disappointments. As stated in many times in many of these episodes, we don't like to call a movie bad or horrible. I think that's a little bit too harsh. Sometimes they deserve it. There's one movie in particular, I'm not going to get into it, that deserves that title. However, it takes a lot to make a movie, and at this point, it becomes a disappointment rather than bad or good. It didn't manage our expectations, and I feel like it could have been a little bit better than the product that we got at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to start off with Ernesto, and we're going to talk about Ernesto's. And I'll also be just give you guys the breakdown. We're going to be talking about some of Ernesto's stuff, some of my disappointments, and then we're going to go to a shared disappointment list, and then that trend's going to continue for like Ernesto's best, my best, and then we have a shared best, and then you get the overall list at the end, and we do the same thing for the movies. But yeah, so let's start with Ernesto's disappointments of 2025.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and rip that band-aid off. So the first one is going to be Stranger Things, and that's just. I think when I think about it, I think was this show worth the last 10 years of my life?
Hmm.
And I don't know. Like I kind of want to say yes, but I'm also really disappointed with the ending. It just felt very rushed. Like it was just like a quick wrap up. Like it was so bad that your fans had to come up with this whole other fan theory about the possibility of there being an additional episode because they're so unsatisfied with how it ended. Now, granted, creators don't owe audiences a specific ending or anything, but it didn't feel earned. Like at the end of the day, 11 was just like a plot device. For her to close and end like that, like I felt like we didn't really. Depending on how you look at it, she doesn't really get like a justified arc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this does not come to my list. I feel like I was more or less satisfied with the back half of the final episode, and I did enjoy the front half of the season, the first 4 episodes. The last 4 episodes, not as much as the first 4, and then the last hour of the finale after the Vecna stuff was a solid finale for the show. But I do agree with you. I've seen better, like they've done better. And for this monster, this mega show that has so much around it, so much following, so much hype, it's hard to stick that landing. And the documentary, I think, is One Last Adventure, came out today,
Uh-huh.
at the time of this recording. And I saw a couple of articles. Now, I have not seen the documentary myself. I'm just going off of the headlines. So this may or may not be true. You know, the internet can be the internet. But at least the headline that I read said that the creators admitted that they did not have the final episode written when they started filming the season. Now that is common, more common than you think when shows and movies start filming but not having an ending or like an unfinished script, so to speak, when started filming. That is very common in Hollywood for movies and television. However, according to the article, it seemed like again, and the Duffer Brothers, again, if I'm reading this correctly, stated that they did not have that final episode written well into the show, like show's filming. So the fact that it kind of feels a little bit disjointed in a way, like it doesn't like maybe some of this the the fans not being fully satisfied with the ending. If I'm reading into this, it might be because that they wasn't fully written out in one cohesive like outline. So when they were filming the show, they had one vision in mind. They could have changed it when they did some rewrites. So that could be a possibility of what happened and why the ending is so diverse.
I'm just saying, Matt, for a show that for as a massive impact as it has had for the past 4 seasons, now is this show on your top 10?
No.
See, that alone should tell you something. Like this show
Yeah.
is supposed to be a phenomenon, and not to say everything's gonna be a smash hit, but for you to round out your show to finish it off, you gotta lay all your cards on the table. So does that mean that from the very beginning, you didn't really know where the direction of the show was gonna go? You're just kind of hoping it would keep going. But then when you started crafting an end plan, like you should have had at least a goalpost. Like, hey, I don't know how we're gonna get there, but this is how it ends. Like, I don't know. That's kind of how I see it. Like
Yeah.
you may not
The
have
article
the entire path written, but the tunnel and ending, that part you should know. You should know that part. And how you get there, that's the whole journey of finishing the writing it. But that just tells me it's like, well, what were you trying to tell? What story were you trying to tell? Like you don't even fucking know.
Yeah, according to the article, again, it stated that they had a plan. It just wasn't written down. So when we needed like actual dialogue and like I think it sounds like they had
Okay.
broad strokes, but nothing fully written that the actors can read just yet. So there was that. So they might have the plan. They might have like oh, here's where we want to end per se, but we don't know how we're 100% getting there. And again, that's where the tough part is. And I don't think it's Game of Thrones level, like horrible of an ending. I still think they kind of stuck the landing. At least again after the Vecna stuff, when we're kind of saying, honestly, not really the after the 11 death, like didn't care for any of that really. But then after that, when it goes to like 18 months later, that's when I feel like the show gave itself room to give it a proper ending. I think what is more disappointing, and I was listening to this in another podcast, that the Duffer Brothers had so much time with
Yes.
it. It's not like that they were rushed to get another season out before, like it's not like Netflix was breathing down their neck, being like, "Hey, this needs to be out within the next year." They had, if I'm understanding, 3 years in between season 4 and 5. They had more than enough time to solidify an ending. So I think to me, that's where it's more disappointing. Where like it sounds like you were given time, and what you were doing with that said time is unknown, or what you chose to focus on. It clearly was not the script. You were focusing on other things at that moment during the finale. Maybe it was the visual effects, but it definitely sounds like it wasn't the story.
Yeah, and that's what, at least for me, that's its downfall is that it could
Mhm.
have been. It was fine. It was safe, but it could have there. It's like you can see it. It's right there. There was a potential for it to have like such a great
Yeah.
ending. Like the writing was all there. Like the pieces just need to be put together. It's sad when people on the internet are creating better endings than what the show gave us.
To your point, because they had laid down that foundation within the show, because it could have gone in so many different directions.
Yeah.
And it definitely felt like there were a lot of breadcrumbs that they left like unanswered. And then when they were asked about some of those, they said, well, that will be explored in the spinoff. It's like, no, no, I want that to be answered here, the show that I'm watching, not forcing me, if I cared at that point, to go watch another show 2 to 3 years later to give me the answer that I'm looking for now that you should have answered then. So, and then also there's a lot of other elements that you added in there that feels like it was going in one direction, but you didn't even go in that direction at all. So yeah, I completely understand being disappointed with it. I just feel like that for me at the very, very end, it kind of made up for it a little bit because I do think it was a nice send off for the characters. However, as a season as a whole and as a series as a whole, yeah, it wasn't the most satisfying ending.
Yeah. Like it just felt very rushed. Like the whole
Mhm.
Nancy and Jonathan breakup thing and the whole ring. How did he get the ring to Hopper? Or we don't even get that in passing. Like there's just so many like little things that they set up, but then we just never saw it we just never saw it reappear. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was that's the thing. It was fine. Like I won't. I'm not gonna rush back to go rewatch it. I guess is what I should say.
Yeah, we especially for TV shows, it's hard for me to go back to rewatch TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It's like there's so much new content out there. It's so much to keep up with. And like I for me, when it comes to television, is like I gave it my time at that time. And but for like even like, oh, are you gonna do like a Stranger Things rewatch? No. No, I'm not. I don't have time to rewatch 4 seasons of a show.
Yeah. And then
I'm focusing on other things.
your finale episode is 2 hours long. Like,
Yes. And I think again to your point, it's also frustrating because your episodes were longer, and yet we still couldn't stick the landing with the time that you were given.
correct.
Like 100%. To like, I would say that the fans are divided. There is a lot of people who enjoyed that finale,
Yeah, and that's
and
fine.
some could be as very crowd servicey, like, but there is a large group of people who are also not satisfied with the ending to the point where they came up with conformity gate. And then when it didn't happen, like, oh no, 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 it's gonna be the 12th now. It's gonna be the 12th. We were wrong. It's like, oh, okay, calm down. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about it.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild how deep people are going in on the whole conformity gate thing.
Yeah, I've been there with Marvel. I'm not doing it again. Not doing it again.
It's like, oh, I know what that is. I'm not staying away from that. And
Yeah.
very, very similar sentiments to Stranger Things I felt for you. Like it had its final season this year. And like, I think it just, the appeal of the show wore off maybe like a season and a half ago. And then I spent
Mhm.
the rest of the time just like, well, I've already invested all this time. Like I might as well see how the story ends. And the ending was okay. They kind of flip it on you, and but then it's like okay, it just kind of ended. Like I don't know. Did you get a chance to finish it, or did you
No,
watch
we
it?
never started it.
No, I don't know why I thought you started it. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. Like I wouldn't
Yeah,
another one I
it's
wouldn't rush
great.
back to.
It's crazy because we were keeping up with it. I mean, the first season was great, second season was great. I think it was around the third season they were like, okay, this is kind of like wearing off a little bit. But then they flipped a little bit in season four. He went outside of like the norm, and he was in a different country, and then it was also a little weird, and then that didn't really live up to anything. Then I think, if I'm not mistaken, the end of season four, they were going to go back somewhere. I don't remember the ending of season four all too well. But I remember there was like some sort of a cliffhanger. And so at that point, I felt like that, to your point, like a season and a half ago, like the show was already winding down. So when season five came about, we're like, oh, we should, to you, like, we invested all this time. What's next year? 10 episodes, whatever, however long it is. And we're just going to commit to finishing it. And we were busy at that time, that it's one of those shows that where it came and went. It's like, oh, we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. Then we got busy. Then another show came out that we wanted to watch more, and then we just end up not even watching it. Now almost a year has gone by, and it's still left unwatched. And I don't know if we're ever to get back to it, but also the fact that a lot of people were saying that it wasn't good, it wasn't really a endorsement to be like, oh, we should really jump on that. Yeah. So
And I
it,
think
yeah, I've
no,
yeah.
it uh, I agree, and I think similar sentiments, not with an ending, but where the appeals wearing off, is how I feel about White Lotus.
Mhm.
Because like it was just kind of like more of the same, and like I didn't find myself caring about the characters like I did in the initial seasons. There's like a character here and there, but it's almost like I don't know if I'm gonna come back for the next season. Like I'm not
Mm.
like I know it's been confirmed that it's coming, but I'm not. It's not something I'm gonna rush. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna rush out to go watch.
Yeah, I think with this anthology series, it really much depends on the characters for 100%. But yeah, to your point, I forgot that there was a murder that we were following until the last episode. I was like, "Oh, that's right. The show is about murder, I guess." But it doesn't need to be. The show is already strange, but I think it lingers on that strangeness too long, and then to the point where it's like, "What's the point of any of this? Is all this just leading up to who dies?" I don't think I care anymore. Like, I think we can get away from the murder aspect of the show and just, I don't know, go in a different direction. Because I do think like the vibe is still intriguing enough to continue. However, this season, like you said, kind of gave a little bit much of the same, and it's kind of wearing off right.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's move to your disappointments.
Yeah. So, The Last of Us season two, I feel like that here's this other show that, for whatever reason, decided to split the second game, a game I have not played, into two seasons. And there was, I feel like it had a strong start, and then, spoiler alert, when Pedro Pascal character Joel died in like the second episode, I feel like that was very sudden. And apparently it was sudden in the game,
Yeah.
and it was sudden in the show. And I knew it was coming, but I didn't feel like, one, it was gonna be that soon, and two, it was gonna be like that. And so then the rest of the show, honestly, it was like you felt his presence, like, what's the word? Like, you felt the fact that he was on the show lingered on. When the fact that he died, it was definitely a down point for the show, and now you have these other characters who have to kind of rise up in his absence, and I don't feel like we got there,
Mm.
um, for the whole season. And there were a lot of filler episodes, which I feel like when you have, especially when you have, like, these hour-long 8 episodes, we there's no room for filler anymore. We don't
Yeah.
need to do filler. Like when it was, 22 long sitcoms, I get it. That was the quota you had to meet. And I understand that, there's some filler episodes here and there that has to happen. I understand that bit. But when you're given a certain amount of money and you have 8 to 10 episodes you're trying to fill, why are we filling it with things that don't really matter and just like kind of get vibes? and I didn't really care for that as well. And then we ended this on this cliffhanger that now we're going to be going and seeing a different perspective with a different character. And as of right now, who knows how long that's going to be? We might be waiting another 2 years before we get the next season. And at that point, I just start caring less and less. And the first season was so good. It had big shoes to fill going into season two.
Yeah, and I mean, in the game, the death is very quick and abrupt. I mean, we talked about it when you initially watched it. Like and
Hmm.
this is another one for us. It kind of just came and went. Like it came and then the death came. The death episode happens, and then like I just heard nothing but bad things. It was just not good. It's not even close to being a faithful adaptation, and that they changed. Ellie's kind of like they kind of changed her character a little bit from what I understand. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not rushing back to go see it.
Did you finish the second season?
No, we watched maybe
Oh,
this.
really?
I think we watched the first two episodes and then we stopped watching.
Oh, I thought you had finished it.
No.
It's a little bit disappointing. Like again, it's a hard shoes to fill from the first season, and I just feel like and now the Neil Druckmann is not returning for season three. They just stated that uh the guy who plays the brother is being recasted for season three. Like who plays Joel's brother, and so like well that's not a good sign either.
No.
So I feel like that now this is going into the territory of like it feels like you should end with season three. Like let's not try to extend this any longer than we need to be. Like end on a high note. Like you had a down season, let's bring it back up and end on a high note rather than like okay we're gonna go past the games, and I don't think anyone wants that.
No. No.
I still think it was a choice to have this uh be to split the season in two for in compared to the game. I don't know if you could have done this in say like 10 episodes. But they say it was a lot of content and they say it makes sense, but I think from what we got, it doesn't feel like even some of the filler episodes doesn't feel as emotionally driven. And apparently like you're following Ellie and like you're trying to get her like you're I guess her emotions are very sporadic and justified in the game, but I guess for some reason it's not going through in Bella Ramsey's performance
Yeah.
and how the story's being written. So yeah, a little bit disappointed there. And this is coming from a person who has not played the game.
Yeah.
Like, and so like I'm not even comparing it to anything. I'm just going off of what the show is giving me. And I feel like I'm not quite getting there. However, Isabel Merced, she was fantastic in that show.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a great year with between this and Superman. So yeah, I think she was great. So again, who knows how they're gonna continue season three, but not too stoked about season two. Another season that I feel like was a little bit disappointed was Peacemaker season two. I feel like this was I feel like for lack of a better term, like the burnout of James Gunn's writing. It wasn't as strong as Creature Commandos and Superman because he was writing that at the same time as writing Peacemaker season 2. So he had one long couple of months or 2 a year writing 3 different like, 2 shows and a movie, and it was all written by James Gunn, and I feel like Peacemaker season 2 had a lot of filler, a lot that was going nowhere, and at the end of the day, I feel like I just wasn't satisfied with the ending when I feel like some of the reveals they had just didn't feel justified. And at the very end, you're like, well, we're not getting another season of Peacemaker, but here's where Peacemaker left off, and but we'll continue his story elsewhere. And I was like, okay, then what was the point of this whole show? Then because I feel like it didn't compare to how I feel like it was a fleshed out story in season.
Yeah, I didn't have as many issues with it. I thought it was just kind of I just thought it was silly. I thought the ending was kind of weird. I mean, they
Hmm.
ended it like the show was ending. You know, like it had a very
Yeah,
much a show ending with them
I mean
setting
technically it
setting them.
was.
Yeah, I get and I guess so.
It just felt very random when we got there. Like I don't feel like we kind of closed the door or anything, and we just all of a sudden, without any like reason behind it, they just now we're class or checkmate. or whatever their new organization is called. It's like, how did we get here? Like, this parallel dimension. That's just a thing. Like I don't know. I feel like none of that was really explored well, and they had some good moments, but even when they had the big reveal of what dimension, I guess X or whatever the other dimension that they were mainly called or were they mainly in, I feel like that didn't really amount to much either, other than like this big reveal of what it actually was. So yeah, and then to leave it on a cliffhanger to see where Peacemaker, where the next time we see his character without getting a season 3, it just feels now, not even uh like I don't even know where you would put him. But
Well, because it's almost like a comic book because it's like there's not enough for like another full season of Peacemaker, but now you'll see him in other projects. And if you want to know, so like if your first introduction to him is in the Superman movie, and if he's a good enough side character, somebody go, oh, well, you can watch the first 2 seasons of Peacemaker, and you can see how he ended up to this point, and you can kind of get
yeah.
his story and branch back in.
Yeah, I mean, especially like I guess you were getting a better introduction with him either with Peacemaker season 1 and or the Suicide Squad.
True.
So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this continuation of his story, especially coming off of a really solid first season, very similar to The Last of Us. I feel like the second season could really compare to it. And then the last show that was a little bit disappointing was Alien Earth. A lot of visual. It just and also and like you had some great moments in there. I just feel like at the end of the day, I don't know what this show was trying to do, what it was trying to achieve. And we're just giving another story with this these that's not they're not called symbiotes, that's venom. Cyborg hybrids, and we're like the story is very uh mental. I'm not sure how to describe my words with this show, but either way, I feel like whatever it was trying to achieve, I don't feel like I got there. And there was a lot of just like these random moments toward the end that didn't really make any sense. And then again, we're left on a cliffhanger that makes me just more of a question mark rather than a, oh my god. And then we have like this hybrid now controlling the xenomorph, and it's like, okay, but what does that mean? And then we had this whole episode that was just like like almost like the movie of Alien, which was kind of cool, but like why show that? Like they told us what happened in that ship. I didn't need a whole episode you showing me what happened. Like I got the gist of it. So I feel like that was kind of a waste. So I feel like the show was really cool visually, but and I feel like it was trying to like do a lot of high concept like themes, but I feel like at the end of the day, it didn't really amount to much.
Uh, okay. I kind of liked it. I guess it was like showing us the different, you know, beings that are in this universe that are not besides the xenomorph. We had like that
Mhm.
eyeball octopus thing, and we had that. There was that other thing that would like eat the he would like eat electronics or eat
Yeah.
metal or whatever. I don't know. It was kind of cool, but I agree with you. It had a lot of good moments. I'm kind of here for it. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed Alien Earth.
Yeah, I'll come back for season 2 for sure, but I feel like we gotta, focus a little bit more on like what's the point of this? I think that's kind of where I'm at on this. Like I didn't really see like even when the show was going into the finale, it's like, what are we going toward? Like what's the finale going to? Like I don't know what these characters were motivations are,
Mm.
or what our villain, like what was he motivated about? Like sure, so and there were a lot of good performances in there, but at the end of the day, I just feel like it just didn't stick the landing for me.
Uh,
But I'm here for more. I'll give it another chance
all right.
when season 2 comes out. All right, moving on to some honorable mentions as we move away from some of the TV shows that disappointed us. These shows did not crack our top 10. However, they are worth mentioning. Hack season 4. Hacks has been consistently a banger.
Always. Yeah.
Always. And season 4 was no exception to that. I feel like Hacks has been continuously on our top 10 for many years. I think on and off. I think if I remember correctly, I was reading yours from last year. I think you put season 3 in your top 10. This show is consistently funny, consistently elevating its story, and I feel like it's doing a really good job of giving us something different for these character moments to feel justified. have us be entertained and laugh, and kind of seeing like the inner workings of a stand-up comedian and their way through Hollywood. And it's really, really funny. And yeah, didn't crack our top 10. However, still another solid season of Hacks.
Mm. Yeah, I thought it. I mean, I thought it was great, and she's a well-earned win from the Golden Globe last night for winning for season 4 of Hacks. Gene Smart.
Yeah, and it's like her third win in a row, and the
Hmm.
same thing for the Critics' Choice. And we'll be diving into more a little bit of the award season in next episode. But yeah, getting her third win for the Golden Globes is huge for her because even she said when she was doing her acceptance speech, she's like, "I'm just a greedy bitch," 'cause she keeps winning. Another solid ending, another solid season of Andor. I feel like the Andor did not live up to the first season, but it was really close. I loved the show. This is probably the best Star Wars has been in the last couple of years, and this show definitely does not feel like a Star Wars show. It feels like a very much different show, just have Star Wars branding on it. And yeah, it's one hell of a season. I love where these characters go, and especially where that a lot of these characters, what happens in Rogue One. And so kind of seeing the build up to Rogue One, it's truly like this weird like you can start Andor season 1, then Andor season 2, and then immediately go into Rogue One, and that makes you immediately want to start A New Hope. Like
Mm.
it's this constant buildup that gets you to A New Hope, that stuff that I never really was questioning about in the Star Wars universe, but it was really cool that we get this and kind of get to see the inner workings of what's happening as the uprising of the rebels, and like the kind of switch when it comes to the Empire. And yeah, I thought it was great. Is a great another great season, a great finale. And this is a show, this really high concept show that had a plan from start to finish. Like we're only going to put out 2 seasons, and we have 8 episodes each, 16 episodes total, I believe. And maybe there was 9. I don't really remember, but either way, um, I think this is a show that knew exactly what it wanted to be from start to finish, and it gave us something different in the Star Wars universe that I very much appreciated.
Yeah, we have only watched a little bit of season 1. I can't wait to once we can finally watch the second season. But I've heard nothing but great things.
Hmm. Another show that we both watched that I was kind of surprised about, that I enjoyed so much, was Dying for Sex, and Michelle Williams just won her Golden Globe for her performance in this show, and I believe it was a quick 6, 7, 8 episodes.
Yeah, it was a quick mini series, but it was. I mean, it was really beautiful done. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but one of the main things that stuck out for me was like at the end when she's in like this hospice care where she's basically ending her, getting ready to die and in her life, and this nurse kind of walks her through the different stages, and then you see her kind of act it out, and I just thought it was beautifully done.
Yeah, it was extremely sad, and for a show that you kind of know where it's going, like that the end of the show she is going to die, but just seeing the process of like of going through these treatments, it was there was a moment where it was a tough watch, but
Yeah,
man, it was powerful.
yeah.
It was really, really powerful, and a well-deserved win for Michelle Williams, um, from the Golden Globes. And the last honorable mention is Gen V season 2. Did you end up finishing the season or not yet?
Not yet, not yet. But
Okay.
we've watched most of it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it picks up in the second half. I loved how it ended, and very similar to when we talked about the show a few episodes ago. It's very much a spin-off show that's doing it right, where it's very much lives in its own universe, but also the characters and storylines that are happening in the boys are kind of spilling into Gen V, and it feels very organic. And I thought they did a really good job. When I forgot his name, Chant was it not Chance? Um, when unfortunately one of the actors had passed away in real life, and I thought they did a really good job, kind of transitioning that the character also had passed away, and the characters in the show are kind of grieving his death. And his name is I
Chase,
thought there
Chase.
I thought it was Chase, but I don't even get this right. That's making me work for it.
Chance Perdomo.
Chance. It is Chance. Okay. Chance. There you go. Not Chase. Um, yeah, I thought they did a really good job kind of dealing with his death in the show and really honoring the character. And I think it went in different directions that I wasn't expecting. And just throughout, there's a lot of twists and turns that I really enjoyed. So, and again, another show that's doing a great job being a spinoff. And I hopefully it has not been confirmed yet, but hopefully it gets another season. And I think after like the third season, they could really fine tune like maybe like act as an epilogue for season 5 of The Boys because
Mm.
we're getting season 5 and this could be the ending this year. And if we can get Gen V season 3 as kind of like an epilogue for these characters and for the world of The Boys, I think that would be really nice. So hopefully they give him a chance to kind of end the show.
Yeah, but I do like it being its own standalone thing, or I guess you maybe like an extended epilogue. Like maybe you get
Mhm.
the ending in The Boys, but if you want deeper understanding and how it affects the Gen V characters, plus maybe a little bit of future tense of what's happening, then that'd be good. But I don't want it to be required because then it makes it required as opposed to it being like a nice addition.
Yeah, I mean, so far they've done a great job of not making it required
Yeah,
viewing
yeah, I
when you
agree.
watch The Boys. So I think they're gonna hopefully they can continue that. But yeah, those are our honorable mentions. Now we're going to be going into our top 10 TV shows. And again, like we said earlier, Ernesto's going to talk about a few that's not on my list. I'm going to talk about a few that's not on his list. And then we'll talk about our shared. And then you see the full top 10 at the end of our TV discussion. So Ernesto, let's see a little couple of a couple of shows that are on your top 10.
A few of those would be my three that we don't share is Black Mirror, Ironheart, and Devil May Cry. I mean, Black Mirror, I really enjoyed this season. I love that we got a continuation of the Star Trek episode from the previous season, which was with Jesse Plemons. I mean, arguably one of the best episodes of Black Mirror, and I just think Black Mirror just continues to just they just continue to put out bangers. Like each season is just as good as the last. With Ironheart, I mean, to me it was just a breath of fresh air. Like it was just I was pleasantly surprised at how much I really enjoyed the story because just from the look of it, I kind of wrote it off, and it was a pleasant surprise. Devil May Cry, I was a big fan of the video games growing up, and the show just didn't disappoint. It was just high octane action, and it was just kind of like balls to the walls, crazy. But I loved it. I thought it was a great anime that Netflix put out this previous year.
So Black Mirror, as you already know, Ernesto, very similar to Succession, I've been sleeping on.
Yeah,
I
I
did
know.
start a few. I have watched. I would say the first maybe 2 seasons or so. I think I watched the first 2 seasons, and then I watched the USS, uh, USS Caliber,
Yeah, the Star Trek episode. Yeah.
the Star Trek episode. Yeah, and I saw that one. Like that was actually the first episode of Black Mirror that I did watch because there was a lot of hype around it, and a friend of mine showed it to me. And then a friend of mine was telling me I got to watch it. And then after that, I started going into at the early pandemic. I started watching them, and then I kind of just fell off, and I never continued after that. But it's funny because like you know these episodes stand alone with one another. I have no reason to not watch these. It feels like a very simple watch with these very horrific, high tech situations that are happening. And yeah, I don't know why I have not jumped on this, but I've heard again nothing but great things each and every time, mainly from you, of how the show continues to innovate, and it just got renewed for another season, so that's coming soon as well.
Yeah, don't sleep on it,
Um,
Matt.
yeah, I'm doing a bad job at sleeping on it. Ironheart, another yeah, I think this was arguably one of the better shows to come out of Marvel this year. It was again, it unfortunately it didn't get a lot of press. It just kind of came and went. They released all the episodes on opening on the debut of the show, and it was really solid. They gave us a great continuation from the character Riri Williams that started in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and yeah, it just felt very different. It also gave us a character that wasn't morally like good. Like she made some like selfish decisions in here, and they're going to come with consequences. And I really hope, and I don't think they will, but I really hope they have a chance to explore that in either another season or in another show with her character.
Yeah.
And it sucks because when you have that, it's it's like, and this is where Marvel's downfall recently is that you give us a show, you give us a cliffhanger, and then we don't know when we're going to get another continuation off of that because it doesn't feel like that you want to continue the show like giving it a season two. So a little bit unfortunate there by Marvel, but it was a great season, a great 6 episodes, and hopefully not the last time. Um, hopefully we can see somewhere else where this story can continue, or just give another season. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
And Devil May Cry hit my honorable mention. I don't want to talk about it again since you're gonna talk. It was in your top 10, so I'm gonna talk about it here. For me personally, it hit an honorable mention, but it was also like really close of hitting my top 10. It was really close. But you introduced me to the show and you told me that it was good, and I was a little bit apprehensive about it, but I started it. First episode or two, a little rough, but after that, it just took off and it didn't take the foot off the gas. It was an incredible season of television, and the second season's coming like really soon.
Yeah, I'm here for. I can't wait for that. I'm here for all that.
Yeah, it was a really good season. Moving on to some of my top 10 that is not on Ernesto's list, and Severance season 2, which is kind of surprising. I thought this would have hit your top 10. But Severance has been, it was a great first season. I don't think it quite hit the highs of season 1, but there was still a lot of great content in season 2 and continued to elevate the innie versus outie, the complexities of like the same person but two different identities, and the idea is still really really interesting, and they invoke this mystery that's still consistently ask you questions without making you feel like you're not getting satisfied with not getting answers. Like they do a really good job of answering some questions, but not everything, just to keep the audience moving forward. Like give you little nuggets to keep moving forward, but not really telling you the whole thing. And the conflict between these characters and the two different sides of each character is something that's been a driving force for the show. And I look forward to see what season 3 has to offer. Hopefully, we don't wait another 3 years to get season 2 and 3 like season 1 and 2 did. But this show continues to be doing great work, and I love it.
Yeah, I really loved the monologue that he has in the end, essentially with himself, with him the Annie talking to the Audi. I think that was probably one of the highlights of the series. I mean, it said so much,
100%.
and then what a great performance from Adam Scott, having to basically portray these two roles.
Yeah, I mean, even the guy who plays Milchek is
Oh
fantastic.
yeah,
He won a supporting actor at the Critics' Choice this year, and well deserved win there. He had a very complex story this season as well, and I love the ending for this season. Him trying to save his wife, and it's like a combination between the Audi and the innie of trying to do that, and then once they get her out, then it's the decision of the innie to stay in there and kind of have this unrealistic happily ever after with Heliar, and kind of just kind of fades to red, I guess. And we don't really know what's going to happen after that. But it was a really cool way to be like, damn, I don't know where this is going, but I'm excited for it.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, so Severance season 2. We also have The Paper, which was a big surprise for me. It's hard to live up to The Office.
yeah.
The Office is one of those shows, those legendary sitcoms that it will sit with people for years to come, and it's an easy bingeable show. People put that show in the background. It's one of the best comedies ever put on television. And to then decide we're gonna make a spinoff called The Paper, you're like, that's a dumb idea. And surprisingly, they did a pretty solid job kind of living in the shadows of The Office, but not really making it all about that. It's like, yeah, we're in the world of, however, we're not really relying on that. We're trying to be our own thing. And I think it does a really solid job of doing that, giving us a fresh batch of characters, with the exception of Oscar, who happens to be there, who gives us some funny comedic relief when when we get some small ties back into the office. And yeah, I think this show does a really good job living on its own, and I was entertained like for the 10 episodes that they gave us.
Yeah, I think it holds up. I mean, I think it holds up. I thought it was very funny, very clever. The humor's a little bit drier.
Mm.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think this already got a season 2, so I look forward to see the next season here, and I'm not think it's gonna I feel like what's working for it is that it's not trying to be The Office,
Yeah.
and it's definitely going off its own thing, and I'm okay with that. Like, I think also, like, this mockumentary style comedy, that's what comedy works for me. Like, we're gonna be talking about another show that does the exact same thing. Abbott Elementary does the same thing of current shows that are happening right now, and when you can nail that, that format really works for me as a comedy.
Yeah.
And probably one of the biggest surprises for me this year is The Pit. When if you told me that a 15-hour long episode series that is basically a medical drama be one of my favorite shows of the year, I would have told you you were lying. Like me, I'm not into medical shows. And this proved me wrong. This was like you're stressed. Like what season 1 of The Bear was is season 1 of The Pit. And season 2 just started, and I've been hearing nothing but great things. And I'll probably let a few episodes in before I dive in because it's another 15 episodes. So they're going to be doing that week to week for like 3 months. So and they're like prolonging this thing. And the fact they got it out within the year is incredible. Like they're doing TV right, folks.
That's how they do
They're
it.
doing TV right. And yeah, the fluidity of each episode going into one, patient to another, it's incredible. They come in and out. Like they're introduced to the situation in one episode, and by like 2 episodes later, they're kind of gone, but they've already introduced 2 other threads that they're just kind of going from one patient to another. And within all that, you get inter-character dramas sprinkled in there. It's such a good show. And like this is, this does not want to make me go back and watch other medical dramas because I feel like they're doing like better than probably other, ones that are on cable. But yeah, either way, I was very surprised with this show.
Yeah, I can't wait to check it out. I mean, especially with Noah Wyle just winning for Best Actor at the
Mhm.
Golden Globes as well. I can't like. I guess I need to jump on. I just gotta get through the 15 episodes.
Yeah, you definitely have like and honestly, it's a breeze. Like it doesn't feel like 15 episodes. Like it literally continues one to the next. So like it's very, very fluid. And The Pit has been killing it in the award season this year, winning best drama at the critics and at the Golden Globes. So there's some weight here, Ernesto.
All right, all right, all right.
So now we're gonna move on to a couple of shows that hit our top 10 that is on both of our lists. And let's first start off with the studio. Ernesto, let's start with you.
I think it was we just maybe we raved about the show when it came out. It was just so meta. I mean, the whole episode where they do the one shot, and the episode is actually it's about a one shot, and they're shooting it as a one shot. I mean, there's the episode where he's dating that doctor, and they're talking about dating somebody who doesn't really care about film, and it was just I just found it very relatable, even though obviously it's about a major studio head. I just found it as like him as a character. I found him relatable, and not and it there's like it's just so wild and funny and like crazy and out there, but it's great. Like I that's a show I can go back and I can rewatch over and over again, and I think it doesn't lose its charm.
It really doesn't. And also the fact that there was a whole award show
Yeah.
at the Golden Globes
Yes.
and and that was centered that around there and then going into the actual real award season and then they're just sweeping. They won for best comedy at both the critics and at the Golden Globes. And Seth Rogen also won for best comedy actor at the critics and the Golden Globes. So that's even more meta that like they're making fun of an award show for being awarded for this and that, and yet now he's being awarded for making fun of that award show. It's it's just kind of folding in itself, and
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
that type of like, and it also just goes to how much like even though it was all fun and games in the show, and it was fun to kind of parody that, a lot of real like there's some truth to a lot of the stuff that they're parodying, and a lot of real world stuff that they are making fun of that is actually happening really in Hollywood. So clearly, a lot of the critics who are awarding these shows probably felt the same way in that as well. Like, oh, we completely relate to all the stuff that is happening, and we get it, and it's funny. And over the years, Seth Rogen, you would say that the guy who did Pineapple Express and Step Brothers, or not Step Brothers, sorry, Pineapple Express and This Is the End and other ridiculous shows or movies would now turn into like this. He's like producing The Boys and The Studio and these and Platonic on Apple TV. Like he is doing these really funny, smart shows. It's kind of interesting to see how he grew as a creator and now he's getting recognized.
Mm, that's a good point.
But yeah, the studio definitely a highlight for 2025. And they said he just, in his acceptance speech at the Golden Globes, he said that they're filming next week. So season two is on its way, and I anticipate we will probably get that sometime in the fall of 2026, if I had to guess, if not early 2027.
And we'll be
Um,
there to watch it when it drops.
Yes. Next, it's hard to talk about. It's hard not to talk about the best of 2025 without talking about adolescence.
Not only is the writing of this show good, but I think this show changed the game. And when it comes to cinematography and just using it as a form of storytelling, I think they did so much work with the camera that it's like mind boggling. Like like this like that show should be studied for years to come with all the with how great it is.
I mean, to your point, the cinematography alone deserves all the awards. But the fact of doing all these crazy one shots, in addition to telling the story effectively, and also the performances in this, and Owen Cooper has been killing it in the awards season, and this was his first time acting. It's You would think this kid has been acting for years, and the fact that he puts this out on day one, it's very excited to see what he can do next moving forward, but also to deliver this performance and have this strong storytelling tactic combined with this innovative cinematography. It's bar none. It's an incredible series, and done all that within 4 episodes.
Yeah, just wild.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get another season of this. I doubt it. But Stephen Graham, who's also been highly decorated at the award season, he said that he's working on another show right now, and I'm very much interested to see what he does next.
Yeah, but I see, and that makes me more excited because he sees that this is done. Like, let's not continue with this thing. Let's just move on and do something great with the next thing.
Yeah, like yeah, and I agree with you. Like, sure, there could be more ideas coming out of adolescence, or adolescence could be the name, but you have a different story within the same title. Very similar to like the White Lotus. It could be an anthology series. But either way, if this is just fuel for the fire for him, let's keep going. Let's see what else he can do. Another show that was quite a surprise and extremely funny and very similar to the mockumentary style comedy is St. Dennis Medical. This show technically started in November of 2024. However, most of its seasons rolled in 2025, and we both discovered in 2025, and so we're just adding it to the list. The show is really really fun.
This is a show that we've rewatched the first season like at least 2 or 3 times. Like, it's another one of those you can just put on in the background and you can just like catch yourself watching a scene, and then you're fully in for the minute, and then it's like you get the bit, you're laughing, then you're back to doing what you're doing, and it's kind of in the background. But even if you were just sit down and rewatch it, like, it's just great. It's just great. It's just great TV. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it's another one. It's solid. It hits the mark. Like, it does. You believe it. Like, I don't know. I'm here for it.
Yeah, the creator of Superstore has done it again, giving us a workplace drama in a Walmart style mega superstore market, and then you have now he's doing the same thing but in a medical comedy. It's it's so good, and then taking characters from Superstore as well as the Goldbergs, and yeah, the comedic genius and the timing and the jokes per minute. Yeah, it's another great comedy. You actually introduced me to the show. You said it was really good. I saw the trailer and it's like, oh, this could be funny. And to me, it hit me on episode one. Like it gets the point across, and you're like, okay, I'm in. I'm hooked.
Give me another episode.
Give me that. I want more.
I want more.
Another show that kind of like kicked off 2025 and it's still obviously lingering in both of our heads is Paradise,
Mm.
starring Sterling K. Brown. It has one crazy pilot, and I think it does a really good job of elevating from the pilot and giving us this really interesting mystery that's not only revolving around a murder, but also like it's a murder mystery, but also surrounding about the world that they are also developing. So now we got two things going on, and then there's more mystery that's being developed each within each episode and giving us twists and turns and some excitement that's going into it, some stakes, and with an ending that looks very promising. But I'm holding out reserve because I don't know if we can do this again in the second season. But I'm definitely going to be watching the second season.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching. We hope that they are able to recapture the magic without like trying to rehash the same old thing. Like give us a little bit of new and just kind of just effectively push the story along.
Yeah. And I feel like this show does have an opportunity to push the story along nicely, but if it can handle that, that's the question.
Mm.
Like if it can actually do that because we're kind of now going a little bit outside of what this show started. So I feel like it's again another one of those like big ideas, but how we move forward will be determining if the show can like it was a one and done or we can see this for another like 2 to 3 seasons.
I could see it going at least another 2 seasons, at least two or three.
Yeah, it really depends on how because right now we're a little bit outside of that bubble that the show you know started or the show presented. So now how they handle outside of that little bubble will be the determining factor on whether or not the show can stand you know stand to be good after multiple seasons.
Yeah.
And the last show we are talking about on this list, well, no, it's a lie. The next show we're talking about is Marvel Zombies, which both hit our top 10 list. And I have to say, out of all the movies, all the TV shows that came out from Marvel Studios in 2025, this might arguably be one of the best things they put out this year.
Yeah.
This 4 episode miniseries going off of the 1 episode of season 1 in What If and expanding on that story. And I don't know, man. They gave us stakes. They gave us Avengers movie level integration and stories and like how does a world of zombies work and we're being followed by these compelling story beats that I really wasn't expecting and I was glued in start to finish on this show. I was thoroughly impressed on a concept that does has no right to be this at all.
Well, I mean, it was great is that they took this all from that one What If episode, and they were able to create this little mini series. But I mean, they found a world that works where they can get a little bit of an arc, and then that's what we got. Like we got this great arc, 4 episode arc. Even though it seems like they're kind of gearing up for an additional season, which I'm also here for. But it also like make it short. Like it doesn't need to be the 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah, and I think the 4 episodes made it quick, and I think they're maybe 30 to 40 minutes or so. But also, does a really good job, and I feel like this the series does a better multiverse story than other big concepts that we've seen from like Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Like you had a whole movie dedicated to multiverse, and yet we're gonna focus on one particular multiverse in Marvel Zombies, and they gave us more compelling stories on characters and story beats that we're familiar with, and then spinning it on its head with the zombie twist. And yet I was enthralled with what they had to offer, and an ending that felt so epic. Like the stakes were there. And then we get like this kind of like unsure ending at the end of the day. Like, yes, I loved it. Um, yeah, arguably one of the best things Marvel put out in 2025.
100%.
And the last two shows we're going to be talking about are actually in our, these two shows are our number one shows of 2025. What's even funny was that when we were developing the list, our number ones are just flipped. So if it's so, for example, my number one show of 2025 is It Welcome to Derry, and my number two show is Pluribus. Ernesto's number one show is Pluribus, and number two show is It Welcome to Derry. So, needless to say, these two shows are are now this could be recency bias because these shows we just finished watching a few months ago. However, it comes without saying this these are two great seasons of television.
I would argue that yeah, there is maybe it's because it's close, but I don't even I think they're good just on their own. Like if they had come out in the beginning of the year, I think I would still be saying the exact same thing. I just think the things that both of these shows did, and we talked about them at length in previous episodes. They're just phenomenal. Like they're so good that they can lend to a rewatch. Like it
Oh my
Welcome to
god.
Derry is so good that it made me want to become a Stephen King not only movie fan but book fan. Like you know what? Now I'm gonna start jumping into the Stephen King books, and I just started the Dark Tower.
And I feel like It Welcome to Derry did what Stranger Things was afraid to do,
Yes.
which which was give stakes to your characters and then actually commit
Yeah.
into like giving us deaths that mean something to the characters who are living and have them, have those deaths mean something for the show and pushing forward the story and like now here's some emotional beats that the audience can linger on and also for the characters to linger on and have some weight to what's happening within the show and also some really intriguing backstory on Pennywise and how he came to be to some degree and here's this lore that I really wasn't expecting and then there's like strap in, you're in for a wild ride, and not only that but this show, easily, any show or movie, one of the scariest things I've seen in quite some time. It's like haunting stuff here.
Yeah.
And then you were able to do that in addition to give me storytelling where it's like, I can't look away, but I really want to because whatever you're doing is very much disturbing. Like it's like right out of the gate, first episode, first scene, extremely disturbing. But I can't look away. And when it can do that, and if for also for us like and Ernesto, you know me, I'm not a big horror guy, but I've been warming up to the horror genre the last few years.
Hmm.
This show hit my number one, and it's like it kind of surprised me from beginning to end of like this is what good horror storytelling is right here. And yeah, that's why it hit my number one. It was very close to your number two. Uh, I very much can't wait for the next season of this when we go back into the I think 1930s, I believe,
Mm,
and see what other things they have to offer for the show. And it's like for me, it really makes me just want to go watch back and watch the movies
100%.
because like it's like I feel like a nice tie-in going in. And yeah, when this can give some rich storytelling to the franchise as a whole that makes you want to go back and read the books and makes you go back and want to watch out the previous iterations, then you know it's doing something right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, well said. You kind of hit the nail on the head. And then Pluribus is just such a smart show. Like it's just, I mean, the way that they're able to do so much with so few characters, or even episodes where there's very little speaking, but yet you're still able to give us such great character growth. I mean, that in itself speaks leaps and bounds.
Yeah, Vince Gillian and his cinematography and visual storytelling is nothing we've seen anything this year. And the ideas and concepts that were introduced in this show, it just keeps again very similar to Paradise, where in a different way, but we have like these. Hey, we have questions that we are having, and you're answering them every other episode to keep the story moving along, but yet introducing more mysteries while you're also answering questions and then making you think about some of the things that these characters are doing. And Ray Shehorn is doing an incredible job at giving us this compelling character that is fighting with the idea of the human race basically being gone and loneliness that she's feeling and trying to find that companionship and fighting with herself between the old reality and the new reality. And it's this show, I keep thinking about it, like, it keeps creeping in my head of like some of the ideas that it has, and it's another great season of television. And hopefully, it doesn't take too long for him to come out with another season, which sounds like it might be a while before we get season two at least.
Which I'm okay with because he's not going to rush it. It's not going to be ready till it's ready. So
Hmm.
I'm perfectly okay with waiting
Yeah.
for it to be just as good as the season one is.
But all right, let's dive in to what an overview of what our top 10 are. So we'll start with my list. It Welcome to Derry hits number one for me. Number two is Pluribus. Number three is The Pit. Number four is The Studio. Number five is Marvel Zombies. Number six is The Paper. Number seven is Severance season two. Number eight is St. Denis Medical. Number nine is Paradise. And number 10 is Adolescence. And what's interesting to point out here is that all of these are brand new shows that came out in 2025, with the exception of Severance, which is a season two.
All right. So for me, my number 10, I believe that's Paradise. 9 is Marvel Zombies. 8 is Devil May Cry. 7 is Ironheart. 6 is Black Mirror. 5 is St. Denis. Number 4 is The Studio. Number 3 is Adolescence. Number 2, It Welcome to Derry. Number 1, Pluribus. Solid list. I mean, I really enjoyed all these properties.
Yeah, and a lot of these shows are fairly new. Like in your list, Black Mirror season 7 is definitely the only continuous show that's on your list here, and that doesn't really feel like it's continuing off of any story. It's an anthology series, so it's just brand new material going into that season. So I find it interesting that both of our lists we were more excited about the new content that we were getting from these shows and what they were introducing, rather than repeating like some of the concept that were in the previous seasons and ongoing seasons of other shows. So something worth noting there. But anyway, that's our top 10 TV shows of 2025. And now we're going to be moving on to some movies of 2025. Some of our top movies of 2025.
Do
And
you?
before we talk, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I said before we talk about some of our disappointments, I do want to talk about some of the hidden gems. Okay, that's what you're asking. Okay.
Yeah, that was my question. I was like, it's like this says disappointments, but the first thing I just want to make sure. So
Yeah.
okay, I got you.
Just doing some housekeeping here. Yeah, before we talk about what has disappointed us in 2025, as well as some of the best stuff, I do want to talk about some hidden gems of 2025. It didn't really hit our honorable mention, didn't really hit our disappointments, but I feel like these are movies that no one really talked about that were really, really good. And the first thing I want to talk about is Predator Killer of Killers. This almost made my top 10, and so much so that I was like, am I about to put two Predator properties in my top 10? I was like, I can't do that. I got to pick one or the other. But this was a great animated movie, exploring the world of Predator. And if I feel like nobody talked about it when it came out, if you haven't seen it, it's on Hulu right now. Well, I guess I should stop saying Hulu. It's on Disney Plus. Hulu is about to be no more as a standalone app as of in a couple months from now. But Hulu will be into Disney Plus. But either way, it's on Hulu, and it's a great movie that explores the world of Predator, expands upon it, and really just like action, incredible action. Another show that kind of lives up to the name is Ballerina, a in the world of John Wick, starring Ana de Armas. I think it's a really solid spinoff in the world of John Wick. And I feel like not a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people said it wasn't that great. I had a chance to watch it, and as what it's trying to do as sort of a spinoff, I think it does really well. I think the action is very comparable to John Wick. It does a really good job keeping up with the action. The story is solid enough to make it um worth its while. And I think if you like the John Wick movies, I think this is a great companion to the John Wick movie. And then a movie that we both watched that we both enjoyed was Final Destination Bloodline.
Yeah, that was a great one to watch on the plane. Although I think I put it on as like a throwaway, and I think I was just pleasantly surprised at how good it actually is.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing. That I had no expectations going into it, and I feel like it made money in the box office. I don't feel like a lot of people talked about it though, but yeah, definitely a hidden gem there on the Final Destination franchise. Heads of State, Idris Elba John Cena, a movie that seems really ridiculous. The concept to a prime minister and a president get kidnapped, and then they have to kind of work together, and they're not really, best buds, and they have to work together to get out of their situation. Seems like a story that just doesn't, it can be very, very cheesy, but it worked, and it worked really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of like a throwaway movie. Like it was good. It was good. It kind of, wasn't too deep. Well, it wasn't trying to be like call itself out. There was like some wacky shit that happens, but it just kind of plays to whatever's, it kind of plays to the theme of the movie.
Yeah, and I was along for the ride the whole way through. Like it made it believable. And again, for a lot of these movies, like if you can, if you can stick to like your what's the word? Whatever you presented in this world and you can stay in that lane, then we're willing to believe anything else that happens within this movie. And also the chemistry between John Cena and Idris Elba really worked as well. Um, another good movie that a lot of people not a lot of people talked about that I thoroughly enjoyed was Eenie Meenie, starring wow, I forgot her name already. Uh, it's Weaving, Sarah Weaving? No,
Samara
uh,
Weaving.
Samara Weaving. Thank you. Yeah, this movie was another Hulu release. It was on streaming. I thought it was really good action, really good story, really good performances. A little bit twists and turns along the way. I like where the story went. Solid action comedy, and more of an action thriller, really. Deep Cover. This is very much an action comedy. It stars um, Bryce Dallas Howard and Orlando Bloom, and you have these three comedians who kind of are doing improv, not improv, but like yeah, kind of improv, and they get themselves into real world situations where they're just trying to like fake it till they make it, and they keep burying themselves in these holes with these kind of made up characters that they've kind of built upon. Then they get themselves in a tricky situation. Again, another one of those movies where it feels like it's a silly concept, but it really works well. They really committed to the bit of of the movie. But yeah, a really solid movie, deep cover, available on Prime, and a documentary. The last thing on this hidden gems list is not just a goof. It's about the documentary of the making of a Goofy movie. It's one of those documentaries where like, oh, this seems interesting. I love the movie. I give it a shot. I cried like a fucking baby in this documentary. It's like the little movie that could, like the movie that no one really talked about. It's the movie that over time it got praised. And it truly was a movie that was ahead of its time. When the movie came out, like it tanked in the box office, nobody cared. People didn't understand it. And then over time is one of those things, and I think that's what's beautiful about cinema is that you could have made a movie but not for the right audience.
Mm.
And like the audience of that time were not willing to appreciate the greatness of what a movie can be. And it takes time for a movie to mature and for audiences to kind of discover and mature within the movie that it was trying to present. And it was really truly just a story about a father and a son that people had this one perception of what Goofy was. But if you're willing to accept what Goofy can be, then you can really lean into the story. And I thought it was a beautiful documentary about a movie that's widely beloved.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, what's really great about that movie is that you can, and I'm talking about the movie, not the documentary, but is that when you watch it as a kid and you watch it as an adult, and yet even if you watch it again as a father, like you watch the movie through you can watch the same movie through a different lens.
That's a very good point. Like, I'm sure a lot of these people and a lot of what the story was about, maybe these kids were just not getting it. And at the time, the adults who knew what Goofy was just wasn't getting it. Now those kids are growing up with a different mindset and they're becoming fathers. And now they're teaching, bringing that down to their kids. And yeah, it was really kind of empowering to see like something like that just grow in popularity. And yeah, I to me, I thought the message was very, very emotional. Um, but yeah, those are the hidden gems of 2025. Some of the movies that you might not have watched, but are definitely worth checking out for sure. So now let's move over to some of the disappointments that we've had in 2025. And unfortunately, these disappointments were more than I wanted them to be. As I was making this list, I was like, ooh, this list is kind of long. Uh, that's not good.
Not
And
great.
we not good, not great. No one wants to see a bad movie. And it's unfortunate because I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago of how like 2025 maybe not the best year for movies. I think there are a lot of better television shows that came out than movies did, and a lot that had some interesting concepts just didn't live up to the expectations. And one of them was going to be a hit or miss regardless, but The Electric State, starring Millie
Mm.
Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, directed by the Russo brothers. And to me, this was like after this movie, you're going into Avengers Doomsday. And so like here's this big budget film and all these this is like a really wildly original but also based off of a book concept that we're trying to introduce and big stakes here and just didn't do any of that. Just didn't do any of that.
It just kind of seemed like everybody in the movie was kind of phoning it in.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was watching them act. I didn't feel like I was watching these characters come to life.
Yeah, it felt very bland
Yeah.
to me the whole time. And
soulless.
it's unfortunate because again, these are the people who brought us Endgame and Infinity War and Civil War and Winter Soldier. And now you leave that Marvel bubble and then you give us movies like The Gray Man and Cherry and The Electric State. And you're like, well, wait a minute. These aren't like all that great. And then after that, you can like, oh, we're gonna go back to Marvel. He's like,
What?
like maybe you can do really good in the Marvel bubble, and that's what I'm holding on. But it doesn't really spark a lot of confidence going into Avengers Doomsday. And we had talked about that when we were talking about the Electric State.
Yeah.
Another movie that just purely disappointed was Tron Ares. Man, I was so excited for this movie to come out, like going back into the world of Tron. Tron Legacy was so cool. And they just said, let's not make this cool at all. Visually this movie looks great, just the story it just made no sense, and the story really pulled me out, unfortunately, of how cool the visuals look, where I feel like this is always about like these, this movie that always looked cool and the story didn't really, wasn't need to be there. But at least when we rewatched Tron Legacy, at least it was exciting.
Yeah, and you got that
This one was
banging
boring
score.
as hell. Very sad. Did you end up watching Tron Ares?
No, I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Are you gonna try to watch it at all?
Should I?
Just to form your own opinion.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There's too many other good things to watch for me to subject myself to what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours of that.
Just about 2 hours or so.
I'm good.
Just about 2 hours. Yeah. I feel like if you were really, really into the world of Tron, then you can probably get a few things out of this. However, yeah, I just feel like that they were like, let's bring back Tron and get these cool light cycles in. It's like, okay, what else? Oh, that's about it.
We don't need anything else.
We don't need anything else. Story? Forget it. We don't need a story.
Doesn't matter.
Another movie that looked way better in the trailer than the actual movie was The Amateur.
Yeah, that was a really. It didn't hit my list, but it was a really big disappointment because it seemed like it was gonna be so good. Like, oh well, all the good parts are in the trailer.
Yeah, literally every single good part of that movie was in the trailer, and it just didn't like. Again, their trailer guy, great job on you because you got me into the theater, but man, was I so underwhelmed with everything else that was happening in that movie.
Yeah.
I remember more about us making fun of the poster than I do about the movie itself. Like, there it is, The Amateur. That tells you a lot.
He's smart. He's in front of these buildings. He knows how to use the computer.
That's exactly what we said. Yeah, it was. Yeah, to me, that's what that movie is to me. It's just a good vehicle. It's Uncle Roger's favorite movie. That's what I see it.
What? I want to talk about it again.
Yeah, it's so good. We'll see it twice. Like, there's two people on the screen. You know what it's all about.
He looks like he's smart.
He's smart. He knows computers. He's. You could tell he's grieving. Look at his face.
Look at his face. He misses his wife.
He's missed. I think probably one of the more disappointing sequels of 2025 has got to be Nobody 2.
Yeah, I mean the first one was just so good,
Good.
and then the second one is so campy. Like it's hilariously bad. Like
Yeah,
it's so bad that it almost seems like it's done on purpose.
right? It's almost like you lost all seriousness and credibility when you made this movie. Like you decided to go in a completely offbeat direction that was definitely not what the first movie was. And it's disappointing because like we got everybody back, but yet we were all just I feel like it's one of those situations where we're having too much fun making the movie. We don't really care about what the end result is. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, it was very disappointing to kind of see the camp bleed throughout this entire movie when it felt like that the first movie had some weight to it that makes it feel like yeah, you're kind of feeling for this guy going back into this world that he does not want to be part of, and he's just trying to be there for his family, but yet he's kind of forced back into it. And this one's like, let's bring the family. But yeah, we're all nobodies.
We're all here. We're all a
We're all
nobody.
Yeah, it's very disappointing. And I think this is more of a disappointment for me than it is for you.
Yes.
I think you actually liked Karate Kid Legends.
I did. I thought it was I thought it was a good campy like kid underdog like you know like rise from the ashes story. I thought it was great. I liked it. I enjoyed the campiness of this Karate Kid movie.
Yeah, and I can say that I did not like the campiness of this story. I feel like because, and even though I never watched it, I feel like there was a lot of positive hype around Cobra Kai, and that's obviously sparked more interest into the Karate Kid franchise. And even though I never watched it, I just heard a lot of good things about it. So I feel like they were going to bring that good storytelling into this one with this new idea, bringing back Ralph Macchio, bringing back Jackie Chan. I thought that was going to mean something, and it didn't. It didn't at all. And that, I think that's what I was more disappointed with. Is like, okay, we're taking these two like Karate Kid iterations together as mentors, and you're kind of going slightly off of what Cobra Kai was, but we're not going to really pull off of any of that and kind of give you something completely different and also a lot of camp. And I just didn't buy it at the end of the day.
I get that. I get it. I mean, I was here for the camp. Cobra Kai has a lot of camp, so I guess I anticipated that going into it.
Fair enough. All right, let's talk about some of your disappointments.
So my main two is, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. That was I guess I just wanted more from it. I didn't want it to turn into the Fast franchise, which it obviously did. And him, my disappointment is that like I think Marlon Wayans was so good in this role, and I felt like it was wasted on the story not being fully flushed out. Like I felt like we could have gotten a little bit of a better story, but Marlon Wayans was absolutely incredible in this movie.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where like the concept is there, like you can see it. A really
Yes.
well made trailer, really like gave us the intrigue of like, oh, this is something different, a horror sports movie. Like I can get into that, like the horrors of like really prepping to be like the goat and like what it takes to be the goat, and we never really went as far as we felt like the movie could have gone.
Yeah, it could have been. It just could have been so much better.
And then with Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I mean, we were making fun of that movie about either last episode or the one before that. Yeah, it was like, what are we doing? Like the first two movies was not even this level of campy and cheesiness and these witty, not witty puns. And it just felt like everyone was just phoning it in. Like
Yeah.
it never. I feel like nobody really took this franchise or this movie seriously, and there was like, look what I could. And then that's kind of what we landed on for like every character in this movie. It was yeah. It didn't hit my biggest disappointments, but it's definitely. And if we had an honorable mention for disappointments, this is where this would land for me. Yeah, it just truly didn't live up to what the franchise could have been.
Yeah, it could have been
Speaking of
better.
things that didn't, yeah, it could have been a lot. It could have been just make another one. Just make like give it some seriousness to it. But anyway, a movie that definitely didn't live up to the expectation. Whew, okay, is Captain America: Brave New World. As a Marvel fan, this is extremely disappointing on all fronts.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it. Like the main thing, they ruined this movie through the marketing. I mean, and the movie itself wasn't that great, but the marketing gave gave the whole movie away. Like you're watching this movie as if there's supposed to be this big reveal, and it's like, well, what are they leading up to? We already know what the big reveal is. Like, I don't know. It was just very underwhelming, and like it missed on a lot of fronts.
Yeah, I feel like that if it was teasing the Red Hulk instead of showing the Red Hulk in the marketing, I think that would have been a better reveal. It's like, oh, it's happening. We have an idea that it could happen, but we don't know for sure. But we're pretty like 90% positive that it's going to happen. But instead, it was like all over the trailers, all over the posters, all over the popcorn buckets. Like they made that movie around it, and then you're like, I'm sorry, is this a Hulk movie or a Captain America movie? I'm a little confused here. And I felt like that it was like one of those things where we're just trying to do so many different things. We're putting so much in this movie. It was a sequel to The Incredible Hulk. It was a sequel to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I feel like it never lived up. And then we're also introducing whatever the Scorpion, I forgot whatever
Serpent,
Giancarlo Esposito
Serpent
is.
Society.
The Serpent Society, yeah. Introducing that kind of went nowhere, and then giving us an ending that's kind of like the leader just going like, "Oh, worse things are coming." Okay, that's nice. Yeah, it was unfortunately not a great follow-up for Anthony Mackie in like his first big movie as Captain America. They really did him a disservice. And I thought he did a solid job in this movie, but they really kind of did his they did him dirty in this movie with the writing and the marketing.
I
And
agree.
hopefully they can do better when next time we see him is probably Avengers Doom.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully, there's a lot of characters coming back for Doomsday, so we'll see what that looks like.
You actually make a really good point to see if they even give him a lot of screen time in this movie in Avengers Doomsday. So yeah, like a disappointing outing for Captain America when they've had a great track record with that franchise specifically with First Avenger, Winter Soldier, and uh, um, yeah, and Civil War.
Yeah.
And then it goes into this bias of like, oh, you know why it didn't work? Because you got a black Captain America. No, like it goes into this unfortunate stigma that people were talking about, and it's like, no, you're taking the wrong message out of this movie. But then it had to fight that battle
Yeah,
with like
exactly.
some of the fans. So it was just truly unfair, and again, truly a disappointment going into Marvel when these were the movies that were supposed to be like gearing us up for Avengers Doomsday, and then right in February you're like, ugh, that ain't it.
This is your reset. Yikes!
Yikes.
uh,
Not my Marvel.
Not my Marvel. That's funny. Yeah, a couple of these other ones are really disappointing. Like Jurassic World Rebirth just shows it doesn't matter what story you put on there. Just put dinosaurs on the screen. People will go watch it.
Yeah. I don't want to get into it.
But
I really don't.
We listen, Matt. We know how you feel. It's bad. It's super campy. But are you gonna go watch the next one?
Yes.
Okay, I guess they don't care.
They don't care. Just put dinosaur on the screen. That's what you're here for.
Here's my money.
And guess what?
You can
Like-
hate about it later.
Yeah. You can bitch about it, but you're coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad because this movie made a lot of money, and it just goes that we don't really need to focus on story and character. As long as we give you dino action, then that's good enough. And I really wish that that's not the message that, specifically Universal is getting out of these movies. Like, you want good storytelling. I don't care if we're exploring new characters, but at least give me something worth my time. And I feel like that it did not do that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, I've been checked out of them for a long time, so
Yeah.
like this was no surprise to me. It was just gonna be super camp, and I mean, when there's certain things that happen in the movie, it's like okay, like when Jonathan Bailey falls almost 400 feet, and he just gets up like nothing happens. It's like, well, what are we doing? Okay, so everybody's just made out of steel, so everybody's impenetrable. Nobody can die. Nobody can get hurt. Like he didn't even sprain his ankle or hurt his leg. Like he just got up like nothing happened.
He's like, oh, okay, here we go.
All right. Oh, time to go.
Another bit disappointing. Again, I blame the trailer. The trailer made this seem like it was going to be really, really funny, and it was The Roses, starring Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, he has an all-star cast in this poster here. Adam Sandberg, Kate McKinnon, Allison Janney, and great comedians here. And I feel like they put all the funny jokes in the trailer. And when you watch the movie, you're just like, can't help but to feel like that you're disappointed when you're watching it.
Yeah, like I think we watched it. It was like we wanted this to be so good, and it's just wasn't. Just
Mm-mm.
wasn't. Not at all.
Just what I think every funny bit was in the trailer,
Yeah.
and everything else, which is also just very strange of a movie to begin with. Like I feel like we were never rooting for our main stars, and we don't really understand how they got so like out there of their ridiculous feud for one another. And then at the very end, they might have died.
I think it's assumed that they did.
Yeah. So a very weird movie nonetheless. Um, and the last movie that kind of disappointed us in 2025 was Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I feel like we had such a good build up with the previous movies of these, great action set pieces, followed by these, you know, these like intriguing world building stories that are surrounded about this that makes us want to invest into the next chapter. And I feel like it kind of ended with a dud.
Yeah, it just felt very safe. Like it just like all this build up to just be more of the same. Like there's no, it didn't really feel like a really finale kind of ending. We had a main character die, but it didn't feel like an earned moment.
No, it really didn't. And also, I feel like they just really went down your throat with exposition, like
Yes.
overly complicating the events that were going in there. And it felt like I had to like listen to a full audiobook before I got to the next action set piece. And this movie was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. And it was
Yeah.
just talk, 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 talk. And then we get this like very like granted, it was impressive, but like compared to other stunts that looks visually like, holy shit, Tom Cruise is doing what? And then this movie, he's like, now Tom Cruise is swimming really, really long. And you're like, you're like, okay.
All right.
Like, is he really holding his breath for that long? No.
No, he's not.
He's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, and then he's just swimming and then doing this and doing that. And then it was like, yes, yes, AI is bad. Bad AI.
Bad AI.
And we're gonna tell you how bad it is for 30 minutes and how it's gonna change the world. And we gotta do all this. This is so impossible. It's so impossible that we're gonna tell you how impossible it is for 30 minutes. And then it goes into like this deep underground something, and then he goes on this plane. It's like, yes, Tom Cruise back on a plane. And then he does these crazy stunts. And don't get me wrong, it's crazy that he was just hanging off of a moving plane like that. But I don't know. I feel like that you've given us way, way more crazier concepts. That you hanging off of a plane doesn't seem that bad. And also, I've seen you hang off of a helicopter like 2 movies ago.
Yeah.
So forgive me for not being as impressed than some of your previous work. Yeah, I just feel like, and also, to your point, it didn't commit to an ending. Like this is supposed to be the final reckoning, and yet we were like, well, it's final for now.
For now. No mission is too impossible for us. Like Ethan Hawke
Yeah.
should have died at the end of that movie.
He should have done it.
They-
100% should have
They
done
had
it.
set it up, and it would have been a meaningful death for him.
Yes.
The one
100%.
mission he couldn't escape, and that's just how that would have been his final reckoning about him
Yeah.
setting up his team. It would have made it so much more impactful.
It's final reckoning. Death.
No, we just want to set it up in case we want to bring him back to make more money.
No, well, we love the money.
We love
money.
the Mission Impossible money. Let's make more movies. That's the sad part, is that that's exactly what it seems like.
Yeah, 100%. Like there might be a couple of years before we get down another one, but ultimately, like if this was truly a finale, they should have committed to killing Ethan Hunt and then giving us a more well-rounded story. When a lot of that movie was predicated on some of the shit that happened in the first movie. You're like, remember this guy? No, well here he is.
He's important now.
You never thought about him until this moment, and you're like, who?
Who?
And you're like,
oh, I guess I gotta go back and watch that movie.
Damn, full circle moment.
Oh,
It's a long circle though.
look at that storytelling.
You brought back that one guy. We're like, who's that? And you're like, oh no, he's the guy. He's the guy who pushed the button. What button? We'll tell you about it.
Oh, that one. Oh, I remember now.
I see. A lot of Mission Impossible stuff happened before all that, or in between all of that. Um,
And
but yeah,
so I guess we're crossing over now because this is an honorable mention for me, but I'm assuming a disappointment for you. So it's
yes,
up as an honorable disappointment.
question mark. Yes, that's exactly what this is. Here is a movie where it landed in your honorable mention, but it landed in my disappointment. So I feel like this is one of the few times that we are at a little bit of a crossroads between what we felt like our differing opinions on a movie. We typically kind of fall on the same line 90% of the time, but here's this one movie that we just were not seeing eye to eye. And that movie for us in 2025 was Mickey 17. And I feel like coming off of Parasite, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, this was his next movie 5+ years later. I feel like it didn't really live up to what great storytelling he has done in the past, and it was just this really wild concept that I didn't really feel like it stick the landing 100%.
And I just disagree. I don't know. I love the book. I thought the book was really good. I thought the movie hit. I mean, they changed a few things from the book to the movie, but for me, it still hits the same themes as the book. I don't know. I thought it was great. It almost made my top 10.
That's crazy.
I couldn't disagree with you more.
Yeah, it just wasn't like I didn't feel like I leaned into some of the campiness of it, some of the performances. Like I think the idea is cool, but I think what we were exploring just didn't land for me. And Bong Joon Ho's done some weird stuff, and I was really to buy into that, but I don't feel like I was able to buy into this that much. But I mean, give it credit to Robert Pattinson. He gave two really distinct performances in this, and so I give him credit there. But I don't know, this not exactly the vibe I was looking for coming out of Bong Joon Jo's next film. And also, it did extremely poor in the box office. I think it lost over $100 million, so that's really unfortunate
Mm.
for him. But that's not going to stop him from making movies. And maybe the next thing it won't have a high of a budget, but who knows? But yeah, I just didn't. We are at a crossroads on this one. We don't. We're
Robert
very
Patton
much.
Robert Pattinson can do no wrong. That man is good. He is good in everything he's in, even the
I don't
weird
disagree
ones.
with you there. But yeah, all right, let's dive in now to some of our top movies of 2025. Ernesto, we'll start with you.
So we'll start with my honorable mentions. Rebel Ridge, which technically came out the previous year, but I didn't get to watch it until last year. 28 years later, and Companions. Rebel Ridge, I thought was just a great set piece for us to see what Aaron Pierre can do as an action leading man, doing his own stunts. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic in this film. I thought he's great. He's a fantastic actor. He kind of reminded me of like The Rock and Walking Tall. That movie
Mm.
has very similar vibes to that. And I mean, he does his own stunts. I mean, who can you have to appreciate that. 28 years later, I wasn't fully in on the franchise, like leading in even with the first two, but this 28 years later really, really sold me on the franchise. Like I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Ralph Fiennes was amazing in it. I'm really excited to go see Bone Temple, which is
Hmm.
the newest addition to this, which is apparently getting rave reviews. We're going to be talking. I think we're talking about that next week, actually.
Yep.
So I'm looking. I really love this one. I'm really looking forward to that one. And Companion was kind of like out of left field. I, I I think it was just such an interesting concept and how they were able to construct that narrative. It just resonated so true to like where we are with technology now that you can easily see this being it, and just how they were able to flip the movie. It was able to flip your expectations of what you think is going to happen. It was great.
Yeah, I did like 21 years, 28 years later. I think the front half was better than the second for me, which is why it was like at the end of the day the movie was just fine. But I think what the movie was as a whole was really interesting, which makes me more excited to explore Ralph Fiennes' character, which is definitely the more interesting parts of 28 years later.
Mm.
But to your point, I think they elevated on this concept that they introduced many years ago, and now we're kind of giving it some legs here with some of the iterations that they're coming out with. And so yeah, I did enjoy it. Maybe not an honorable mention for me. But yeah, Rebel Ridge, great movie,
Hmm.
fantastic, great showcase for and Aaron Pierre. Can't wait to see what he does in Lanterns. This movie was like through and through really, really good. And Companion was also very close of hitting my honorable mentions. But to your point, I feel like the only thing that's a knock for me is that they kind of ruined the twist, the main draw of this movie in the trailer.
Mm.
But I think, unlike other movies, I think it recovered because it did it within like the first 20 minutes, and then we were able to explore
Yeah.
other aspects of the movie, as well as give us different twists that we weren't really expecting in the movie itself. I think this is one of a really good, like one of those concepts where like it's very real, and I think they did a really good job kind of blending the kind of, I wouldn't really call this a horror, but definitely like this is like mild thriller comedy esque vibe that I think like I think it held on its own for like a solid 90 minutes, and it was a really good movie to kick off the year because this came out like January of 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree.
All right, moving on to some of my honorable mentions. I thought Fantastic Four: First Steps was a really solid movie. It wasn't the best Marvel movie to come out this year, but I think it achieved its goal of introducing a different Fantastic Four in a solid movie nonetheless. I saw this movie twice in theaters, and I enjoyed it more the second time. And I think I was able to buy into these characters. I think that the character dynamics were really, really strong, and I look forward to see what else they have for these characters going into Avengers Doomsday. And I liked the retro futuristic vibe that this movie had. The world I think the world was more interesting than the story. And the music was incredible. I
Yeah.
love Michael Giacchino's score in this movie. So it didn't quite live up to like storytelling, which is why I didn't hit my top 10. But I think all there was a lot of good stuff surrounding this movie for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was a fun kind of like it was basically an homage to Jack Kirby, which I thought it was good, but I felt like as its purpose to leading in to be the thing that's leading into Doomsday. Like I don't know, it was fine. It was
Yeah,
okay.
I don't
Like that's
disagree
the
with you
thing.
on
Like
that.
it was forgettable, but what's not forgettable is that score. I mean, Michael Giacchino, he's amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like for me, I was really hyping this movie going into 2025. So I think it lived up to my expectations, but it only slightly got up there. Like there's still a lot wrong with this movie, but I think they also did a lot right with it as well. The Long Walk, Stephen King adaptation, fantastic movie, great performances, gripping from start to finish. Another movie that has some stakes to it, some weight to it, some emotion to it. A solid movie. And this is from um uh, what's his name? Something Francis. Uh
Francis Lawrence.
Francis. Yeah, Francis Lawrence. Um, coming off of the Hunger Game movies, kind of sliding in real quick and doing this little movie right here, he did a fantastic job. Makes me more excited to see Sunrise and the Reaping when that comes out later this year.
Oh man, well we'll talk about that for 2026, but yeah,
Yes.
on top of the list for next year.
Um, it's hard to. Oh, actually, before we get to that, Mike Flanagan's new movie, Life of Chuck, great, great story.
So good.
Uh, Tom Hiddleston did a fantastic job in his role and kind of telling the story in three distinct parts. Another one of those where it's a real thinker. And I think it just pushes the boundary of what Mike Flanagan can do as a storyteller. We mainly associate him as a horror genre, but he was able to take this story and give so much emotion behind it that I was back in, I was with it through and through. A great out like this for me proves that Mike Flanagan can do no wrong. Like, he is a great storyteller,
Mm.
no matter what genre he's doing. And, it's hard not to talk about 2025 and the best movies of 2025 without talking about K-pop Demon Hunters. This movie took this year by storm. The music, the streams on Netflix, the incredible box office reception it had on the sing-along version when it hit theaters. This movie is probably one of the better animated movies that came out this year, and no one saw it coming.
Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere, but I mean, it still hits today. I mean, we were just talking about the songs last week.
Yeah, we were, and also it's killing it in the award circuit. It's now becoming the front runner to become Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. It swept in the Critics' Choice Awards for Best Song and for Best Animated Feature, and did the same exact thing for the Golden Globe. So I think this is the movie and the song to beat going into the Oscars. But also, it's a great story. I saw it twice this year, and it hit both times. And you can't. The score and the music in this movie is incredible. Every one of those is a bop.
Every single one.
All right, so that kind of wraps up our honorable mentions to a degree. But this particular section is a mix between what's in Ernesto's top 10 and also in my honorable mentions. So, what kind of hit my top 10 was Wake Up Dead Man and The Naked Gun, and then Frankenstein hit Ernesto's top 10, but it hit my honorable mention. So we'll start with Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out story. What a great way to kind of continue Ryan Johnson's mystery with this Knives Out story. Like the first movie was really good. The second movie took a little bit of a dip, but then it came right back with this third movie. Really intriguing mystery from start to finish. Another incredible performance from Daniel Craig, in addition to Josh O'Connor
Yeah, I mean,
and Josh
really,
Brolin.
really stand out for Josh O'Connor. And I also loved how it subverts your expectations because, like, there's certain things that you think are going to happen just because the nature of these films, and they're able to flip that on you and kind of give you the same but like a little bit of a different story. So I applaud it for being different from the others,
Mm-hmm.
but still kind of
100%.
holding the same spirit of what the Knives Out movies give us.
100%. 100%. A movie that kind of surprised me of how well it worked is The Naked Gun. It
Yeah,
hit my top 10. It hit your honorable mentions. This movie is incredibly funny from start to finish. It kind of reignited what parody movies can be and how it can still work in 2025. And now going into a lot more parodies that we're getting in the future, like Spaceballs 2 and Scary Movie 6. Like, this is now paving the way to be like, hey, parodies can still really, really work if they're done in a clever way. And this movie did that in tenfold. This movie was so funny. Probably one of the funniest movies of the year, easily.
easily. And I kind of love that it feels like it's reinvigorating that genre
Hmm.
of these campy, silly movies. We'll see what Scary Movie 6 does.
Yeah, and I think casting Liam Neeson in that role was so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job there. And then a movie that hit my honorable mention but hit your top 10 was Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's new movie.
Ah, Jacob Elordi as the creature. I mean, it was so good. I watched this movie 2 or 3 times. That's like,
Really?
yeah, like that's just how much we loved it. Like another
Wow.
one. The story was crafted so well that that it makes me want to go back and read the novel. Like I I I can't wait to see what awards it wins because I was just so pleased with it.
Yeah, and didn't walk away with any awards at the Golden Globes, but it walked away with a lot of technical awards and for Best Supporting Actor for Jacob Elordi at the Critics' Choice. So really curious to see how it kind of pans out in at the Screen Actors Guild in addition to the Oscars. But uh, the production design, the directing, the performances, the costume design, the makeup design, like this movie looks beautiful. I feel like the only knock for me was that the pacing was a little slow. And that's the only, like, one small detail that I can give it that I wish that it picked up a little bit, but everything else about this movie was fantastic.
Mm.
Alright, moving on to some of your top movies of 2025 that were not in my list.
So those three, which I'm very surprised that one battle after another did not, because I don't know, the movie it just hits on just so many levels, just from the storytelling, construction, and just how they were able to weave like the cinematography and to make you think about some of the story elements that are happening. And it's just, I mean, all-star performances from Benicio del Toro, Tiana Taylor, Chase Infinity, and Leonardo DiCaprio. I just think we just have, and Sean Penn, like just
Mhm.
such a well-rounded cast that just gave us such a great narrative. And Avatar Fire and Ash, I think, was just such a technological masterpiece. that granted, if you may, it may be similar to Way of Water, but I think the advancements, once again, the advancements that he gave us in filmmaking, like that's what's to be studied for years to come. And then for me, Roofman was just such a pleasant surprise. Like I had no expectations. We talked about it last week where the marketing for this film wasn't going to be there, and I also really appreciate that it's a true story, and that like these crazy things that you see happen in the movie actually happened in real life, and we actually get the real life snippets of it towards the end of the movie. So it just for me, it adds more weight to the things that have to the story that took place.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with you. Roofman was definitely a surprise, and for me, it fits right in the realm of like a hidden gem where like no one really talked about it, kind of came and went, but it's a really good movie in there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was also very surprised by it. Yes, Avatar: Fire and Ash. My biggest gripe was that it is pretty much the same movie as Way of Water. That's for me like a really hard thing I couldn't ignore, and not infringing on my top 10 or honorable mention. However, there's no denying that this movie is a technical masterpiece as far as what James Cameron has able to do within the world of Pandora and the visuals that he's pushing out. This movie looks gorgeous. It's the visually, it's stunning. But I wish there was just more innovative in the storytelling as it's doing in its in the visual effects. And with one battle after another, I feel like it's another great movie. It's great. It's doing extremely well at the Oscars. It's killing it at the Golden Globes. Took away 4 awards, including best drama. I'm sorry, it was best musical or comedy. Um, I think the only thing with me is that I feel like that a lot of things were happening, but I feel like it wasn't quite pushing the story effectively for me. I think for me, it just comes down to pacing. And also, as I was making this list, I thoroughly enjoyed a lot more movies from start to finish than I did with One Battle After Another. I feel like this is a great movie, a great thinking movie, a great like the themes of this movie were really incredible. This movie is definitely up there for me, but I think as when I'm watching a movie and all the other ones that reach my top 10, I just was having a better time watching it than I did One Battle After Another. Like for One Battle After Another for me, it's one of those movies that kind of like lingered with me long after long after I watched the movie, but in the moment, I feel like I just wasn't invested as I wanted to be.
All right, I get that. I get that.
Moving on to some of my some movies that landed in my top 10. Predator Badlands. Ernesto, I'm not sure if you've seen the movie yet.
No, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I'm dying to watch it.
It is so good. It completely subverted my expectations of what a Predator movie should be, and for that reason, I, like, thoroughly enjoyed this movie from start to finish. The characters that makes the way that it makes me feel about, the Predator and the species and the storytelling and what it was trying to do and kind of how it all kinda wrapped up into this nice story, and also pushing the boundaries of what this franchise was always supposed to be, very similar to Prey, and then we just went above and beyond on that concept and give us some rich storytelling here. And granted, it's a lot of sci-fi. The movie runs very quick, but I think I think the biggest thing for me is that it subverted my expectations on what a Predator movie should be, and actually putting the Predator as a like compelling character rather than a villain in
Mm.
most of these stories. And I think for that reason, it definitely cracked my top 10. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was incredible. I definitely and then the action is really great, and all the little nuggets that they put in this movie to kinda tie it all in the end of the movie, great, great,
Mm.
storytelling. And Elio, I feel like this, if you look at my list, it's like, "What? That movie was terrible." I would disagree with you on that.
I wouldn't say
Uh
that. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was terrible. I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty solid.
I feel like a lot of audience scores, I should say, were really dogging on this movie. The critics did enjoy it, but I feel like on the lower end of Pixar movies. But I don't know. I feel like the themes that they were exploring and loneliness and like trying to find yourself and like what's out there and the ending put me to. I saw this movie twice, and each time this movie put me to tears.
Mm.
I thought the story was so well done, and it kinda falls under the line of not everything worked, like, as far as, like this kinda leaned toward maybe like a kid's movie than an adult movie, but I don't know. At the same time, you start your movie out with his kid. This kid, both his parents both died in a car crash, and then you have his aunt who has to kind of look after him, and then that's how you start your movie. You're like, shit, man. And then he's trying to find himself in this world, and like I don't know, I feel like I can relate to a lot within that movie. And again, it put me to tears both times, and for that, I was like, "Yep, this is up there for me." Pixar has done it again of giving us these great stories within the animated format, and it brings me a lot of hope for some of the original stories that they're coming out, in the future. Specifically, in the next couple of months, we're getting Hopper. That looks like it's a fun movie, but this also movie I feel like was marketed poorly. Elio was not marketed for the movie that we got, and I feel like we got a completely different movie than what the movie was marketed about, and I feel like it was like this fun, kid-friendly movie, and I feel like it was much, much more than that at the end of the day, and I feel like Hopper is currently marketed the same way, and I'm walking into that movie, hopefully I can be surprised like I was with Elio.
Yeah, hopefully it's good.
Um, but yeah, so that's some of the movies that are my top 10. Now let's talk about the movies that we shared in our top 10. And let's start with probably easily the best Marvel movie to come out this year was The Thunderbolts slash the New Avengers.
Surprisingly good. Like I couldn't even like I know that it technically was considered a flop, but I consider it the strongest Marvel movie out of the three that we got this year. This one was
Mhm.
definitely the best. We have this self-contained story. We get that introduction to the character of Sentry, and just how they were able to tie that into being about mental health, and it crafted into just a very like I felt like it was a narrative that you didn't need to be a superhero buff or superhero nerd to like really enjoy this film. Like you can just it was just a film talking about mental health and like how
Yeah.
people deal with the dark sides of themselves. And I appreciated it. I really, really did.
Yeah, I also feel like as a Marvel fan, this was the only movie that one stood alone as its standalone, like a standalone story. It was the only movie that really did that this year. And in addition to that, it also pushed the story forward by getting us excited about what's to come in the future
Yeah.
with the whole new Avengers tagline at the very end of the movie. And so I think it succeeded on both fronts. Whereas Captain America was not a good movie and it didn't do anything to really push forward. And then you had a Fantastic Four that was a kind of a good standalone story and also didn't do much to push forward the MCU. But I think this was the best of both worlds. That you give us a solid standalone story to really get us deep into these characters and like talk and introduced a new concept that we were familiar with. Kind of like how the other genres of like, you get a political espionage thriller baked in a superhero movie that was Captain America Winter Soldier. In this case, or even WandaVision, where we have like this kind of creative television world, but also baked into a superhero movie. Here is now we're going to be talking about mental health baked into a superhero movie. It really excelled on that concept while also pushing the story forward in the bigger MCU. Yeah, this was easily the best Marvel movie to come out this year, and unfortunately, the one that made the least amount of money.
Yeah.
Another movie that we just talked about last week, Marty Supreme, incredible.
Incredible. Score, Timothy Chalamet's performance, just writing, everything. I just thought it was great. I mean, to me, it's a shoe in for Best Picture.
Oh, for sure, and I think Timothy Chalamet definitely a career-defining performance for him, and also the chaotic energy that this movie brings from start to finish. Even though you might not like the character, but it makes you wanna love him anyway for whatever strange reason, and you're just, like, glued to whatever craziness he's getting himself into.
Yeah,
And it's kinda long, but it's worth the ride.
yeah, the score like really carries the film.
Mm,
Like for me, like that it had like it's because we're in the 50s, but the score has like this 80s synth vibe, and I was just really I loved how they paired them together.
mhm. Another movie with a great score and also changing the genre for the superheroes, Superman,
Of
James Gunn's
course.
Superman, the start of the first movie out of the DC studios. Um, he definitely hit it out of the park with this one.
100%. I mean, it lived up to about all the expectations, like all the hype. It lived up to all of it. It was a great kickoff for the DCU. I'm just excited to see what will come next. I know there's some contention about Supergirl because It looks like Guardians, but I think that's kind of I think that's the vibe of the Supergirl movie in general.
Yeah, and Superman really, I had a lot of reserve going into, it, but also I trusted James Gunn in the way that he tells a story, especially coming off of the Guardians movies. And this one just brought so much hype, so much energy, so much hope, so much like lightness that the DCU for many years were very just like dark and brooding. And this felt like they were entering a world that's already lived in. And I think it did its job to introduce the audience to this new DC universe. I think it did a really good job doing that. And the last movie that that we both share is oh, no, I did it again. It's not the last movie we both share, but last movie on this page is Materialist. Celine Song's coming off of Past Lives, another movie she wrote and directed. It's one hell of a script. The script is by far the best part of this movie and backed by solid performances from Chris Evans, Dakota Johnson, and Pedro Pascal.
Absolutely. What a great ensemble. I thought it was a beautiful story. I thought just the way they constructed the story to give you this to talk to you about love and like I don't know, I just got it. A lot of people didn't really, it seems like you either love or hate this movie. This movie is like a perfect 5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I know we when we posted our score, we had a lot of people come out. I was like, "Really? Like you love this movie?" And I for me, I think you're right. It's a hit or miss for some people, but I think I was able to buy into the concept and like the deconstructing of what love is or how it's perceived and what it can do, and you know, finding a partnership and the value of it, and putting like love as numbers. It's is really quite interesting. And I fully bought into it. But yeah, 100%, 5 out of 5 for me. And so far, Celine Song has done 2 movies back to back. You know, uh, she's killing it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised this movie is not being looked at more in the award season, but maybe this wasn't her moment. Past Lives definitely was.
Yeah,
But I
that's
look
true.
forward to see her next film.
100%.
All right, the last 2 movies we're gonna be talking about that we both have shared is our both number 1 movies of 2025. Ernesto, let's talk about yours first.
That would be Sinners. I mean, Sinners was a was a movie theater experience. Like it was a film that had to be seen in theaters. I feel like it's a special thing. Like it just you got Michael B. Jordan playing 2 different roles, and like he's so good that you forget that he's playing the same role twice and that he's acting with himself, and the technology used to put them both on screen at the same time, like some of the best visual effects I've seen in such a long time. That I mean the score, the song in the middle of the movie, that's kind of like this pinnacle of the movie, and it's tied with Ludwig Göransson's score, and it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautifully made, like the writing, everything from start to finish. Like Ryan Coogler really hit it out of the park with this one.
Yeah, this is Ryan Coogler's masterpiece, start to finish. Like he did an incredible job with this movie. Kind of really giving you like this a really interesting exploration within like this. Like there's a one point, it's like this is a horror movie, and like the whole first half of this movie is like setting the stage, and then at the back half, you're just indulging in this meal that you're getting as he's kind of presenting these ideas, and an incredible performance from Michael B. Jordan. Ryan Coogler gave us a wildly original script that was intriguing from start to finish. And yeah, it's a shame that this movie is getting overshadowed by One Battle After Another, because I feel like it's always stealing its thunder when it comes to the award season. But hopefully the Oscars can change some of that. And I think, Ryan Coogler, he just proved himself that he's on the next level as far as directors. Like this movie demanded to be seen on the big screen with its multiple IMAX formats. And he's now up there with like Christopher Nolan's like, oh, Ryan Coogler's coming out with a new movie. I'm there on the biggest screen I can find. Um, and this definitely hit my top 10, but not my number one, like Ernesto's. My number one movie this year goes to F1, starring Brad Pitt and directed by um,
Joseph
Jo-
Kaczynski.
Joseph Kaczynski.
Score by Hans Zimmer. How can you forget that? Like
Score by Hans. It's so good. I'm a sucker for sports dramas, but when you give me such high energy, this guy's coming off of Top Gun Maverick, and man, he did what he did in the sky and did on the races. And I know nothing about F1, but I feel like I'm now ready to drive in a car and go around that track. I thought the story, to me, this was classic blockbuster. This for me has a very similar vibes to Twisters, where it's just like it was the right moment at the right time. You have like this like very like summer blockbuster movie for me, and I was strapped in from start to finish on like this underdog story. These like the way that it was shot, the way that it just felt there was so much great energy backed by great performances in this movie. And to me, there was no other movie that gave me that level of excitement watching it. As like now you're going to the race, and I feel like shit. Like, is he gonna win? Like, like I felt invested into this story, and also just thrilled by the racing action that it had with it. And I saw this movie in RPX, which is a Regal's Dolby, and like the sounds were incredible. This movie's also doing really well as far as, it won sound design and editing at the Critics' Choice, and so this has a real shot of getting some production, technical awards going into the Oscars. But yeah, I was just fueled by excitement when I was watching this movie, and for that, it hit my number 1.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's fantastic. The score's fantastic. It's fun. Like I can't wait. Now that it's available on Apple TV, I can't wait to rewatch it at home. It was just such a highlight from last year.
Yeah, I really wanna watch this movie again now just talking about it. It's like, "Ah, I'm fueled. Let's go watch it again." So there we go. That's our top movies of 2025. Let's go back to our overview and give us a breakdown. Ernesto, we'll start with you on your top 10 movies of 2025.
All right, so number 10 was Roofman. Number 9 was Thunderbolts. Number 8 was Avatar Fire and Ash. 7, Materialist. 6, F1. 5, Marty Supreme. 4, Frankenstein. 3, Superman. 2, One Battle After Another. And number 1, of course, is Sinners.
And my top 10 movies of 2025. Number 10 goes to Marty Supreme. Number 9 goes to Wake Up Dead Man. Number 8 goes to The Naked Gun. Number 7, Thunderbolts slash The New Avengers. Number 6 is Superman. Number 5, Materialist. Number 4, Elio. Number 3, Sinners. Number 2, Predator Badlands. And number 1, F1. And there it is, right there. That's the list. That is a long way of saying here are our top movies and television shows of 2025. It was an interesting year, Ernesto. I feel like not a lot of hits, from my opinion, that came out of this year, but a lot of still great movies that we obviously talked about this last 2 hours or so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just really looking forward to what's coming for next year. I mean, it was a great year. It was, I would say, now, do you think it was a better year for movies or better year for TV?
Better year for television, hands
Yeah,
down.
I agree. I agree. We had some great movies, but definitely this was TV's year to shine. Now,
Yes,
hopefully,
definitely.
with the bangers, there's some bangers coming out this year. So hopefully it'll
Yes.
be reversed this year. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, so as we wrap up our best of 2025, we always like to look ahead to see what we can look forward to in 2026. And excuse me, and there's also a lot of television, a lot of television more seasons that are coming out, new shows that we're not familiar with, a lot of streaming shows that we are probably not familiar with, but uh that's interesting. This is out of order.
Yeah.
Can you sort by release date?
Let's see. Oh, it's sorted by popularity. Let's not do that.
Yeah, there we go. That makes it better.
There we go. Here we
There
go.
it is. Now you're not confusing me. Um, yeah, I have somewhat of a different list here, but we'll see if we can keep up here. Because there's a lot of I don't even know, I've even heard half of those movies.
Well, here, let's start on yours and I'll see if I can find a better one.
Okay, all right, all right. Yeah, I'm just looking through here it is off of IMDb coming soon, and here are some of the movies that it feels like that are interesting. First of which is and again, we're only going off of what we can find right now. I'm sure there are other movies that we've never heard of that could even be even better than movies that we're talking about. But as far as what we can control, here are the big movies that are coming out. I think this is the list. This is better. Um, Here are the big movies that are coming out into theaters this year that we can anticipate that has us excited. And the first one is 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
Obviously, yeah.
we were just talking about it. Early reviews for it are saying that it's basically amazing. So I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, and then the week that followed after that is a movie called Mercy, which I feel like this could be a hit or miss. It has an really interesting idea starring Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson. It looks like that he's faced on trial and he has to convince like this in this new post futuristic world or this futuristic world that he has to prove that he is innocent in a crime that he's accused of. And he has 90 minutes and he's given all the tools at his disposal to try to make himself innocent. So that's an interesting concept that's coming out next week, in 2 weeks. Sam Raimi's new movie, Send Help, that comes out January 30th, starring I think Dylan O'Brien
Mm-hmm.
and Rachel McAdams. Could be a potential solid movie from Sam Raimi. Moving into February, I think the first movie that kind of stands out to me is Wuthering Heights, which is a movie from Admiral Fennell, who has done A Promising Young Woman and Saltburn. I feel like those are very unique movies that I know we've talked about in the past, and I think we've been probably a hit or miss on Saltburn, Ernesto.
Mm, it's gross.
Also starring Jacob Elordi. And also starring Jacob Elordi, Margot Robbie, Owen Wilson from Adolescence is appearing in here. I feel like there's a lot of hope going into Wuthering Heights that I can feel invested in, but I feel like it's another one of those that could be a hit or miss
Mm.
on far as what can come out of that.
Also that week coming out is Goat with Kayla McLaughlin, Gabrielle Union, Nick Kroll. It's one of the trailers look good. It's the same animation, same animated team behind K-pop Demon Hunters and Spider Verse. So it looks entertaining. Looks like it could be good. The kids are excited to see that one.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like this movie let me lean toward kids, but I could be wrong. Like here's a goat basketball player, and I guess he's trying to be the goat. I think it's kind of playing off of that and kind of like this. Here's this basketball movie surrounded by animals.
Yes.
But yeah, it could be interesting. Let's see. Moving on. Let's see. Going out of February. Oh, okay. End of February, we have Scream 7. A lot of production mishaps, a lot of drama happening behind the scenes. But after a couple of delays, we're getting back. Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox are returning into another Scream movie. We also have the I think Jasmine's Save Savia Brown and Mason Gooding, who played the twins, are also coming back from this new generation. Um, the fact that Radio Silence are not returning for this movie has me a little bit worried. But it could be good.
Yeah.
What's your excitement level on Screen 7?
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that was gonna be that was good. I inadvertently got exposed to the trailer in the theaters, and
Hmm.
it looks like it's either gonna be really good or really bad.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be on the realm of that. But I'm gonna see it regardless.
Yeah,
It
we'll see what
has
happens.
it's proven to be good. These new movies have been proven to be good so far. Another movie that honestly I just really don't care about, but it could be something that's going to be talked about is Maggie Gyllenhaal's new movie, The Bride,
Mm.
starring Jessie Buckley, who's been coming off of the award season so far, winning for her role in Hamlet, and now the front runner for the Oscars. And Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale. They're kind of like this is a spin on Frankenstein and The Bride, and I don't know. I look at this trailer and I just don't care about this movie.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be fine. Like I'm
Um,
not really excited for that.
you are, you're not.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. I feel like if I feel like this is a movie that the movie has to come out, and then if I'm getting good reviews, then I'll probably watch it. But if it's not getting good reviews, then I probably won't watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
Another movie coming out the same day is Pixar's Hoppers. This is an original idea, and they even makes fun of the fact that this is kind of like Avatar, where a young girl goes into the mind of a is it a beaver?
Yeah. Well,
of a
no,
beaver. Yeah.
they make a beaver that she puts her mind into.
Oh,
It's
it's
like
a
a
robotic beaver. I see.
yeah.
And so then they're going into like exploring the wilderness, and I feel like this is a fun concept that again I feel like this movie might be marketed poorly, but it does look interesting, and I applaud Pixar for continuing to give us original stories.
Yeah.
So I definitely will be watching this in the theater. Let's see, what is this? The next big movie after that.
Project
Oh,
Hail Mary, March 20th. Ryan Gosling.
yes,
I mean, based off the book of the same name, which I do want to. I am going to try to get to the book before we talk about it. But this is a big one for the year. I'm really looking forward to it.
yes, 100%. This is also the return of Chris Miller and Phil Lord. They've been working very hard on the Spider-Man movies, and so now they're coming back into live action. And this is a very interesting movie to dive into. And I love them. They're responsible for um, uh, 22 and 20, 21, 22 Jump Street. And I think they're great comedic directors. I'm surprised they're going into something that doesn't look like it's a comedy, but according to IMDb, they're calling this a dark comedy. But it's based off of the novel that I have not read yet, but it's sitting on the wait list on my Audible. So I definitely also want to. I feel like this is one of those movies that this comes right after the Oscars for us. So this
Yeah.
feels like it's going to be right in that like we're going to have our like this is gonna be like we're talking about the Oscars, have our episode about the winners, and then the movie right next to that is gonna be Project Hail Mary. And I'm looking forward to this. This looks really good potential for this.
Yeah.
For that
Same.
Next movie after that is coming up the week later is Ready or Not, Here I Come. This is the sequel to Ready or Not, obviously, but also the return of the Radio Silence duo. So instead of coming back for another Scream movie, they came out with Abigail, which was 2 years ago, and then now their next movie is a Ready or Not sequel. So I feel like I have more high potential for this movie being good than I do Scream 7. But I'll be
Yeah.
watching both with anticipation nonetheless.
Oh, let's see. We got April 3rd. We got Super Mario Galaxy movie. Obviously, that's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be, kids are really excited to watch that.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the first movie. However, I'm gonna watch it regardless. This looks like it could be fun, just like the first movie was. The drama, which comes out the same day, starring Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. I believe this is from is a director that we are familiar with. This is the same director as as Dream Scenario. Did you ended up watching that movie, Ernesto?
No, I didn't end up seeing that one.
It was weird and it wasn't my favorite. But also, this is an interesting. I'm here for the duo. I'm
Yeah.
here for Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, and the weirdness that this movie can bring. It feels like that these people, they're playing a couple who are engaged, but doesn't look like that they are excited about their own wedding. So I guess that's the drama that's surrounding that movie. A couple of weeks after that, we have Cronin's The Mummy, which we know literally nothing about, but I'm intrigued nonetheless. And this is coming from Blumhouse and Atomic Monster. So, but Lee Cronin is responsible for Evil Dead Rise and other horror movies. So the fact that he's tackling a mummy movie that's probably not going to be what we think it is. So that would be an interesting movie to come going into 2026. And then there's a big one in our stuff.
Hold on, before that one, I'm mildly interested in this Bob Odenkirk movie, only because Bob Odenkirk's in it. Normal. I don't know much about it, but I know he's in it, so I'm probably gonna end up watching it. I don't know. I know nothing about it.
Let's see. It's the director behind the Meg 2, The Trench,
Well, that's not
Free
promising.
Fire, and High Rise.
Mm.
Which High Rise was pretty solid. Free Fire was okay, and Meg 2 was fine.
All right.
But to your point, it has Bob Odenkirk, and we do like us some Bob Odenkirk. So we are there for nobody, and we'll be there for normal.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
For
But
the
yeah,
next big movie.
the next big one is Michael, the Michael biopic starring Jafar Jackson, which is he is related. He's like his nephew, I believe.
Yeah, his nephew. Yeah, taking on the role. A lot of people are thinking this is going to be a $1 billion movie. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but
I can see it.
I think this will bring the same level of attention that Elvis did back a couple years ago. And I mean, Michael Jackson is.
I can see it
is-
being bigger than Elvis, but maybe not $1 billion big.
I don't see it making $1 billion, but some people are speculating that it could be, just sheer off the popularity of obviously Michael Jackson. But I'm very much looking forward to this movie. Antoine Fuqua, the director behind Training Day, The Equalizer, and a whole bunch of other movies, is coming in to direct this. And so, also Bullet Train. Did he do Bullet Train? No, he produced it. Um, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to Michael. I feel like it could be a hit or miss, but like Elvis was like a solid movie for me, but not like over the top great. I feel like this could, it could sit in that realm or it could be better. So we'll see. And then a week later, you have The Devil Wears Prada 2. That's probably going to be a big popular movie to kick off the summer, which is a weird that that's the movie that's going to be kicking off the summer.
I know.
Typically, that May 1st timeline, it's a big blockbuster. And instead, we have Devil Wears Prada 2, which I'm sure it's going to be a big movie, just not to the normal audience that you would expect during the summer.
Yeah.
But also the same day, we have Andy Serkis's new movie, Animal Farm, which based off the trailer is really interesting. But this is obviously based off of George Orwell's book and has an all-star cast behind it. We'll see how that goes. Um, the week after that, now we're entering the summer blockbuster season. We have Mortal Kombat 2, which was which delayed. That was supposed to come in October. I wasn't a huge fan of the first movie, but I am still excited for the sequel. Moving on 2 weeks after that, we have Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. Is this something you're gonna rush to the theater for, Ernesto?
No, because I don't know if I need to watch everything else prior to watch this movie. So I don't even know if I'm going to go see it in theaters.
Interesting. Well, I definitely will be watching this in theaters because this would be like the last Star Wars movie to come out in theaters was A Rise of Skywalker, which was in 2019. So
Mm.
I'm very much looking forward to some Star Wars in the theaters. However, I don't know if this story needs to be in the theater. Like, it just feels like another adventure for Mandalorian and Grogu, which could have been an episode on Disney Plus. So the story has not convinced me, and we also don't know much about the story, but I'm here for it. There's also John Favreau, so he could give us something that we're not expecting. Let's see. The next movie coming after that, which not a movie I know much about, coming in June is Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, I don't
That
know
could
much about it either.
this feels like this could fit in the realm of like Dungeons and Dragons among thieves among honors or something along honors among thieves. It was like one of those movies where it's like a sleeper hit where it was based off of an IP and then it did really well. Or this could be Borderlands where it just absolutely tanks and it sucks. So we'll see how that goes. Big movie, big January 12th. I'm really looking forward to Disclosure Day,
June 12th.
which is sorry,
June 12th.
June 12th, sorry. Disclosure Day from Steven Spielberg's new sci-fi thriller. Yes, please. Please and thank you.
Yeah, and then right after
Uh,
that same day we get Scary Movie 6, which I'm really looking forward to because that's this will be like the true test if these kind of comedies can survive in this climate.
Yes, yes, very true. And then, oh man, I can't wait for this episode. I have hyped this episode for years in my head, and I can't wait to have the Toy Story 5 conversation. This movie's easily going to make $1 billion, no doubt about it. But we've gone through a long time, Ernesto, about your disdain about Toy Story 4, and I think this is worth like going back down this Toy Story rabbit hole and seeing what they do with Toy Story 5 to see if they can get you back, Ernesto, into the toys.
Well,
world.
I'm gonna end up going to see it anyway because my kids are gonna want to go see it. But then the question will be: is will it have been worth it? And I'm probably gonna. I think leading up to this one, maybe I will rewatch the first four.
I'll do it with you. Let's do it. Let's
Okay.
do it. Let's get a full Toy Story re-binge uh rewatch binge on this. I don't I'm hyping this episode up for me. I'm not sure what I'm gonna expect from the movie. But I think I'm more excited to have a conversation with you about this because this is like a long time coming.
Yes, it is.
But the week later we have Supergirl, which we've talked about. It being like it looks like a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too thrilled with the trailer, but I'll keep an open mind of what Supergirl can bring. Um, and then kind of going into the 4th of July weekend, which typically fits very well for Illumination, we have Minions 3. Sure,
Yeah, sure.
sure. The week after that, we have the live action Moana movie from Disney.
Why?
Why? What,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna watch it in theaters because of the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna watch this out of pure curiosity, but I feel like I'm gonna be one of those like I'm gonna sit there with my arms crossed and judge it the whole time.
I'm gonna hate it.
I'm gonna hate it. It looks like it's gonna be the exact same movie. I feel like I'm gonna go into it with that expectation, and it's probably gonna meet it. And if the story manages to be worse, then I'll be shocked because like you have a blueprint, just stick to it. You've been doing it for years, just do the same thing again. I'm more interested to see how the Dwayne the Rock Johnson's gonna look as Maui than anything else.
CGI
Um,
Maui.
yeah, they're gonna CGI the hell out of him. I feel like the same thing when they casted Will Smith as the genie. Big question is, what is that gonna look like? And I feel like we're in a similar boat here. Moving on to Christopher Nolan, The Odyssey, masterpiece in the making.
The movie to look forward to next year.
Yes, this is the definitive movie of 2025. Right here is The Odyssey. Arguably, the next one after that, though, is Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Might be just as highly anticipated on my list than The Odyssey for Christopher Nolan.
Ooh.
Um, Tom Holland's gonna have one hell of a month, back to back big blockbusters with potential to hit. He could be hitting each movie could hit $1 billion,
Easy.
and it's more than likely starring him, and that's an incredible feat to have those movies right next to each other, and do that. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the Odyssey. Very much looking forward to Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Evil Dead Burn looks interesting. A lot of people like Evil Dead Rise. That's in the weekend in between those two movies. I haven't seen Evil Dead Rise, but I heard a lot of good things about it. So that's something to maybe keep an eye on. And then we kind of go into August where we have Super Troopers 3, which could be good. I haven't
Yeah.
seen the other Super Troopers, so they have Insidious, The Bleeding World. I thought we were done with those movies, but no, they have more to offer, I guess. They have a cliffhanger remake based off of the Sylvester Stallone movie. That's going to be starring Lily James and Pierce Brosnan. That's going to be coming in the fall. Let's see. DC Studios Clayface comes out September 11th. Really interested to see that movie. Is going to be Mike Flanagan's script. So definitely some high. Really excited to see what this movie can bring, especially coming from Mike Flanagan. Also, the week later we have coming off of the success of Weapons, we have Zach Krager's Resident Evil. We don't know much about it, but could be really, really good. Also, apparently, we're getting a sequel to Practical Magic 2, starring Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. I don't even know what that movie is about, but
Yeah, who knows what that one's going to be about? But
yeah,
yeah, they've been talking about it for a while. I mean, I really like the first one. First one's a good movie.
yeah, they have been talking about it for a while. It looks like DreamWorks is coming out with a new movie called Forgotten Island, starring Dave Franco and Jenny Slate. It says it follows. It looks like it's going to be going back to 2D animation from DreamWorks, so that's interesting.
Mhm.
So looking forward to that. What's the directors have done? What have they done lately? They're the directors behind. Drum roll. Oh, the art department. Oh, here we go. Ooh, okay. The directors behind Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
It's gonna be fire. I mean, this is gonna be
Gonna
good.
be fire. So they're coming back with an original story from DreamWorks. Okay, I see you. That's actually really exciting. Terrifier 4 coming out with another sequel. The Terrifier franchise has been killing it. these last few movies with its gruesomeness, and they're coming back for another one. Digger will be Tom Cruise' new movie from Alejandro G. Inarritu, the director behind The Revenant and Birdman. So Tom Cruise is now going to be starring one of his movies with Riz Ahmed. Uh, the Social Reckoning. Oh, sorry, yeah, the Social Reckoning from Aaron Sorkin, a sequel to the Social Network. Pretty exciting. We're getting a Street Fighter movie in October, which could be a hit or miss, but it definitely looks wacky to say the least.
Yeah,
We
I'm kind of here for it. I mean, we got Godzilla minus zero. I'm very excited for that.
Yes, it just gave a release date for that a couple days ago, so that is definitely high on the priority list for sure. We also have a Cat in the Hat animated movie, which looks interesting. And then we're going into the fall season where we get a lot of big movies coming out in November time. We're also getting the week after Godzilla minus zero. We also have the Ebenezer A Christmas Carol from Ty West that stars Johnny Depp, which could be interesting. We talked about that a few weeks ago. The Hunger Games, Sunrise of the Reaping.
I can't wait. You have no idea. I'm literally gonna. First of all, that book is so good that it made me go back and reread the original Hunger Games series. Is how good Sunrise on the Reaping is. Oh, this
Wow.
movie is gonna be fucking crazy, and I can't wait to reread that book again leading into that movie.
That's coming in the week before Thanksgiving. The week of Thanksgiving, we're getting a comedy, Fokker in Law, which is a sequel to Meet the Fockers. The whole cast is returning, including Ariana Grande joining the cast. We also have a new Disney animated movie called Hex, which is the original story, which could be interesting. They're doing back in December Violent Night 2 for whatever reason. Um, I don't know why they're doing that. Money probably. And then closing out the year, we have Jumanji 3, which is typically sits fairly nicely in the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have what I think is going to change. However, this will be the matchup of the ages if this sticks. We have Dune Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday coming out on the same day.
Yeah, they want another Barbenheimer, so this is gonna be Dune's Day.
Dunes Day. Do you think this is going to stick?
Yes, I think so.
There's a lot of speculation that Dune Part 3 is going to be pushed to 2027, most likely hitting the March 2027 release date. Those are what the rumors are right now.
That would be very sad if they did.
But I think it could get one hell of because you're also fighting with the same audience too with Dune and Avengers. But honestly, I think there are more Marvel fans than there are Dune fans. So I think Dune is the one to lose here as far as money wise. But I think it'll be an interesting matchup nonetheless if they both commit to the same release date.
Well,
And
because
then you also
you,
go ahead.
I mean, you Barbie and Oppenheimer, that was like an event. Like you saw one and then you saw the other. That was like the whole thing for that weekend. So what if we can see that again this time around?
Yeah, but again, with Barbie and Oppenheimer, it was like two distinctly different movies that were kind of targeting different audiences, and they turned into an event because of it. And then you have Dune Part 3 and Avengers, who are kind of tailoring to the same sci-fi market, so and the same like nerds of people. So I don't know if it's going to be hurting itself at the end of the day, but I would commend them if they commit because it will be a huge marketing thing for sure between these two movies. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna see Avengers before I go see Dune. That's I'm seeing that one first for sure.
All right.
But and then rounding out the year, we have the Angry Birds movie 3 and Werewolf, which is Robert Eggers' new horror movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Willem Dafoe and Lee Rose Depp. A lot of returning people from his previous movies. And there you go. That is a roundup of 2026 and our best of 2025. A lot of good movies and TV shows that came out this year, but we have a lot to look forward to in 2026.
Absolutely.
So, and speaking of which, the first movie of 2026, we're going to be talking about next week.
Yeah, we're going to be reviewing The Bone, 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Yeah, I'm really excited. This is like Ralph Fiennes. It seems like he's the main lead in this, and we're getting reoccurring characters from the last movie. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it as well to kind of see how it kind of plays off of the ending of 28 years later and also to be like the middle movie between the next 28 years film that comes out, I believe, next year or something. Um, but yeah, a lot to look forward to in 2026. Also, on top of all that, we're going to be going right after the Bone Temple. We're going to be going right into the award season.
Yeah.
We're going to get the Oscars noms. We're going to be talking about some foreign films. We're going to be talking about some all the other stuff that's been nominated. We're going to be diving deep. A lot of February is going to be our awards conversation,
As it
and then we're
usually
also going to
is.
keep up with some other big releases as well. But February is definitely going to be our Oscar talk for sure, and all the nominations that are coming out in the award season.
Yeah, absolutely.
But well, I thank each and every one of you for listening to us just talk about movies. Really do appreciate it. If you want more from us, you can always follow us on all social media channels on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Box Office Bingers, our X and Letterbox page at Box Office Binger, and our Threads and Instagram page at Box Office _ Bingers. The fun doesn't stop here; it continues on all of our all social media channels. Be sure to give each one of those a follow. We'll tell you what's new to streaming every Friday. We'll tell you the box office numbers every Sunday, and you can see our lovely faces in short form videos and clips from these episodes on our Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram page. And all of our movie reviews are located on our Letterbox page. So again, we really do appreciate you coming each and every week to listen to us just talk about movies. And thank you for listening to us talk about movies in the year 2025. Like I said, we had a big year for movies, probably a bigger year for television, and we have a bigger year of 2026 of movies to come. And we're gonna do this all over again, Ernesto. What do you say?
You know what, man? I say let's do it all over. Let's do it this year. This year
Let's
sounds good.
you know who's gonna be here with us? Uncle Roger.
Uncle Roger, here to give you your movies for today. That one's terrible. This one's great.
If we were gonna give out a superlative for best thing to come out of Box Office Binges in 2025, it's Uncle Roger.
The birth of Uncle Roger.
Yes, it's gonna be great. A lot of movies to talk about. I'm not sure if I'm gonna love all of them. I probably hate most of them, but
They're
I'm
all
so
terrible.
excited nonetheless. But again, we really appreciate you guys just listening to us each and every week. Come back this year for more movie fun. You're not gonna forget it. But for that, I've been your host, Matt Diaz.
And I've been Ernesto Santos. See ya.